No.
But I'm not going to show you yet.
But see, I mean, the fact that your mind immediately went to evil, it must have been Maya, is not an unfounded assumption.
That's
For
true.
all the things that she's done.
And those she may yet do.
Well, you gotta remember, she's now got a character that's in
just
the influence circle of Bubbles, so.
Well, the thing that got me was I'm still learning to DM, and she decided that she was going to attack another player. Yeah, that was fun.
My whole point with Lyra is just to be an agent of chaos.
Done.
Maya.
Way to stretch yourself, kid. Way to
3, 2, 1. Welcome to Forged at the Table. My name is Charles. I am not your dungeon master tonight. And these 6 people are not your players tonight. Tonight we are launching a premiere brand new show called RPG Roundtable. It is absolutely so new that I just had to look over to the right to remember the title of it. This show, I am actually going to give thanks to the United States Postal Service for losing the crate and forcing my hand to bring about something to put into a spot tonight. So RPG Roundtable it is. This will be a monthly show where myself and 6, I guess, like-minded tabletop RPG enthusiasts are going to get together. We're going to talk about all things tabletop RPG related and everything that we like as far as geekness is concerned. If you want to get involved in this, again, this is just like our games. Just drop a follow on our channel right here. Go ahead and get involved over on our Discord. I will put the announcement out periodically that we are doing these things. All you have to do is PM me, and you get to get a chance to be on an up-and-coming, growing RPG stream. A quick couple of announcements. Let me pull up my little sheet so that I don't forget everything that's going on. I would like to announce that we have one more spot left for the May 1st kickoff of Bryway's wonderful campaign called Something Wicked This Way Comes. If you want to get involved in that, that is D&D 5th edition with a modern twist. It's being set in modern day Boston. If you'd like to jump in on that, go ahead and drop a PM to me on our Discord. Make sure you're a follower or a subscriber here on the channel, and we will get you into that last spot there. That should be a lot of fun. We have a bunch of other things coming up. Pat Adams, thank you for the 100 bits. I will put that to very good use. I will give myself a plus 20 to a roll tomorrow during a walk beyond.
No.
2 more quick announcements are that coming in May, we have 2 brand new campaigns coming up, possibly totaling a total of 15 to 18 new spots that will need to be filled on the channel of players. The first one is Storm King's Thunder, which we know is going to be on Tuesday nights, every other Tuesday. At 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to run on the opposite Tuesdays of Bryway's Something Wicked This Way Comes games. And if you are getting tired of me promoting that, get over it, because Something Wicked This Way Comes is one of my favorite movies of all time and one of my favorite books of all time. So when he brought that up, I was like, so that one we're going to keep pushing. The other campaign that we have coming up, which should be starting towards the end of May, possibly the beginning of June, but I want to put the word out for it, is a game that I am currently going to be running called The Misadventures of the Grim Company. That is actually going to be played not in my world, not in Aetheln. It's actually going to be a campaign that's going to be taking place in the realm of Midgard, which is done by Kobold Press. I have been in the process of talking to the wonderful Wolfgang Bauer over at Kobold Press to see if I could get the rights to do a few things with this thing. So we're still in talks about that, but I want to put that out. That one is actually going to be kind of interesting because I'm going to be running it as 2 different groups out of the Grim Company, and these will not be your standard races. The Grim Company is actually going to be ran as a monstrous campaign. Both of them will be. There will be possibilities of crossovers and all that. I'll get more information out to everybody as we get closer. Everybody was aware that there was the possibility of there being a crate opening. That's not my words. That's the words from the guys over there at Easy Roller Dice. We are still waiting on the crate. It appears that the United States Postal Service must have to have given it a closer inspection. Maybe they're testing some of the materials. We're not sure, but we don't know where that crate currently is. So once that gets here, hopefully they said it might be here by Monday. If it's here on Monday, look forward to a unboxing that night. I got to make sure that Firehawk is definitely playing D&D that night so that she misses the unboxing. That's more punishment for Bubbles.
Of course.
But and then also I wanted to point out, I'm not going to big screen this one, but I said early on with this channel that you guys tell me the games you want to see or what you want to see be ran on this channel or what have you, and I would make that to the best of my ability make that happen. One of the requests that we had come across our channel was for a game of Doctor Who. I am not, and anybody that knows me will tell you, I am not a Doctor Who fan. I've never been able to get into the show. I do have an Amazon Prime account, so I'm actually going to start watching some of it to get the feel. But this just came in today. Doctor Who RPG. This copy, however, is going right back out the door, back to where it came from, because the glue on the spine has completely separated from the book itself. So it's actually tearing away from the hardbound binding completely. So that's going back. I've already got a new one back out in the mail. So that is going to be coming up probably late this summer, early this fall. We'll go with a one shot and we'll see where it goes. But if you guys have games out there that you want to see on the channel that you want to run yourselves or that you want to see me run, let me know. If you're a DM and there's a system out there that you want to have people run and it might cost a little bit more, get a hold of me. Don't let money stop you. We can possibly maybe work something out. They're sitting way over there, but I did also get in Tales from the Loop, which is another game that was brought to my attention by a viewer. And holy cow, the core book for City of Mist, which is done by Son of Oak. Wow, it's like that thick. It is huge book. But I'm still looking forward to digging into that. So that came in. We got some stuff from a couple other companies, but well, it doesn't really matter right now. So anyways, the purpose of RPG Roundtable is really simple, for us to get together and talk about tabletop role-playing games, tabletop gaming in general, and those things that we kind of nerd and geek out on. We're going to go around the horn as we normally do, let these folks introduce themselves really quick in case you do not know who they are. We are going to start with Bryway.
I am Brian. I have been gaming for most of my life. Just turned 50, started around age 11, so that's almost 40 years. I've played a great many systems in that time, to varying degrees of skill, and I have a fair amount of experience and enjoy all of it.
All right, Rainy Keys.
Hi, I'm Rainy Keys, or Sammy. Yikes. I got into gaming I want to say when I was 13. I picked up a Pathfinder game and then I stopped after a couple of years. And I just recently got into D&D 5e in January, and I've been running it ever since. I mean, last couple weeks ago, I DM'd my first ever one-shot, and it was great.
All right, Subsist Cyber.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
I've been playing since the mid-90s. After high school, I went and joined the military and found D&D just about everywhere throughout my military career. Played in Korea, played in the Middle East, played just about everywhere I was stationed. And finally, I settled, went searching for games, found them, and been playing ever since.
Weiss girl.
Hi, I'm Maya. My nerdy dad got me into Dungeons and Dragons and a lot of other nerdy things. And it's become a thing that we've shared as a family. My brother was just around and he was saying, he's actually in the other room of Brywise house, DMing his own campaign. So we're a 3 DM households. And I've fallen in love ever since I started playing.
Excuse me. Atavistic.
Choking a little bit over there. I'm Atavistic, or Jake. I've been playing D&D for a few years now. Primarily video games before that, and still love my video games. But been playing D&D. Haven't DM'd yet, but looking forward to it someday, in the near future at least.
I just have to say, I'm glad that I'm not the reddest person here.
Like a beat.
All right, Firehawk 2324.
Hi, I'm Firehawk. I cannot tell you how long I've been gaming because I have no idea. I'm kind of a lover of all things nerdy, and I am really interested in learning some new systems. I've only played a handful of different systems, so I'm very much looking forward to Doctor Who.
Yes, and that is the person that requested Well, she didn't really request Doctor Who. Me and Firehawk were having a conversation on our Discord, and she brought up the fact that Doctor Who was one of those games that she had gotten in a Humble Bundle, and she's always wanted to play it, and nobody seems to want to tackle Doctor Who. And hey, you want to play a game and I can make it happen? That's what I'm here to do. Anyways, my name is Forge at the Table. Also known as Charles, and depending on my wife's mood, several other names. I have been tabletop gaming since 1978. When I was 9 years old, I started running games in 1980 when I discovered that it was a lot easier in Southern California at the time to find games with your friends than it was to convince a bunch of adults to let a snotty-nosed 11 or 12-year-old in on their games. So for 38 years, I've been running games, and I'm learning every single time, and that was what kind of drove me to creating this channel. And luckily enough, I have found some amazingly wonderful and beautiful people that have really gotten behind this thing. And are really driving this thing forward. I mean, a lot of people keep thanking me for this thing, but I'll tell you right now, without you guys, this isn't anywhere. Without a couple of very specific moves early on with the channel, it wouldn't definitely be where it's at now. One little tweet kind of led to, I think, where this channel is sitting right now. I'm not going to turn this in. This is actually one of the few overlays that does not have the D&D Beyond moniker on it. This is not about necessarily just Dungeons and Dragons, so I try to avoid that thing. And I believe everybody out there already knows my lust-filled passion for D&D Beyond and the game itself. So we had a bunch of questions that I opened up a channel on our Discord, and a bunch of questions came up. So we're gonna try and kind of go through and tackle some of those questions. And see where they lead us tonight. So the first one that I am going to go with is, let me see. Here's one. Atavistic, aka Quest for 1 Million, asked, who is or was your favorite character you have played? So I will go ahead and let that one be the one that opens this up.
I love them all.
I'm gonna have to say, I hate picking between my babies. Oh, this hurts. My favorite character so far to play is my Blood Hunter Drow that I named Andraste. And if anyone who is Dragon Age knows what Andraste is, you're welcome.
Well, so I'm going to talk about one of my current characters, since that's a little bit easier than a favorite. I'm currently playing in a play-by-post, actually DM'd by two of the people on this panel. And it was when I first brought my dad into the D&D Beyond play-by-post sphere, and we decided to play a father-daughter duo. And it's probably the closest to my real-life personality that any character I've ever done is. Which
I am afraid now. That is
I'm not kidding. She really is not kidding.
I'm
Sally.
playing a wild magic sorcerer named Lyra, who is just an agent of chaos in the world, and I've been causing so many problems. It's been wonderful.
Her MO
That's
is to ask
great.
herself, is this a bad idea? And if the answer is yes, then she does it.
Yes, yes, she does.
All right. Anybody else?
So-
I think. Oh, go ahead, Subs.
Go ahead. No, you go.
All right. I would have to say my favorite character of all time has made some reappearances in other campaigns, but I played him initially. His name is Seamus Oddbrew. He is a gnome illusionist who thinks he is a secret agent for the Queen. I left it up to the DM whether or not he was, but he sees clues everywhere and goes on missions and does lots of random things. And, you know, when the mission is accomplished, he moves on to the next town.
Very nice. Very nice. For me, I have 4 different names that I kind of like rotate around with. I have Kane, who has always been like a fighter type of person, usually. I do have a goblin wizard named Kane, though, so that's kind of off the beaten path. Larathan, who has always been a rogue. So every time I play a rogue, I use that same name. And I have 2 female characters that I typically play in real life games, but I haven't really evolved them to play by post or the video games. But those go by Lilith and Ariel. And in my younger days, I actually created a huge story for them. That's way too long to talk about here on this stream.
My favorite character has got to be my very first. His name is Horcross. He was a rogue, half elf rogue, and played him from level 1 till the campaign went on a permanent hiatus, where he reached, I think, level 13 or 14 is where the campaign ended, and just absolutely loved playing him. It was so much fun.
So I didn't think it was going to happen when I first started playing Bubbles, but I had so much fun with her that she's like up there. She's on top of the list right now.
Nice.
I will say that Arthur Kari is probably going to move up my list because I just that one session I had so much fun being him. I can see him easily creeping into my top 5 before long.
He is a wild character. I like him.
Yeah.
I have a strong feeling that Illustrious, if I ever get to play her again, is going to be at least my favorite bard.
She got deleted a couple weeks ago by accident.
Oh, dang it.
But if you sing again, you can get her back.
No, I'm just kidding. I just like to see people's reactions. For me, like I've said it so many times in the past, literally in the 38 years that I've been DMing, I have literally probably played as a player maybe a half a dozen times. And that has been normally at conventions or something along those lines. So I'm going to go with the cliche answer that my favorite character of all time was my very, 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 very first character when I was 9 years old. And that is Breg Stoneheart. And he was a dwarf, because back then, dwarves didn't get classes. They were dwarves.
Cool.
And here's something interesting about back then is the fact that I actually, one of the first campaigns I was ever in was actually alongside the person who sent the idea for the rogue to E. Gary Gygax, because when Dungeons and Dragons first came on, there was no rogue.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm old.
Yeah, that's pretty old.
I'll cut you. So question
Be careful.
number 2. Question number 2. you would think, come on, how many characters have I killed now? 40, 50 on stream?
Close to it, I think.
Yeah, like what? One that can be confirmed. One that can be confirmed. Tomorrow we'll correct that problem.
No.
Just go for Firehawk's character. We'll be good.
No.
All right, so
No, I think
that one goes bye-bye. Next question. Yeah, this might be pretty good because we're supposed to be covering everything that's kind of geeky. So from this person, I don't know if you guys know Firehawk2324. The signature's dripping with blood and is kind of turtle green.
I don't know.
Other than tabletop RPGs, do you like video games or board games? And if so, which ones? What's the funniest? Okay, yeah, we'll just leave it at that one. So, other than tabletop RPGs, do you like video games or board games? And if so, which ones?
Okay. I like both actually, video games and board games. Currently, right now, I'm on like a huge Guild Wars 2 binge, but Dragon Age has got to be my second favorite so far out of the games I've played in like 5 years. Board games, I have to say Monopoly or Clue, mainly because that's one of the only few I play with my family still, and I suck badly.
That's why they keep playing it with you.
Yep. Mainly Clue.
Easy money.
Oh, ow, I'm hurt.
Next.
I'm not a huge video game person, but I do love board games. I bonded a lot with my staff this year playing Cards Against Humanity, which is always a favorite.
That's wonderful.
And my boyfriend would not be happy if I didn't mention that Catan is one of the favorites. His family especially plays way too much Catan. But yeah, no, I'm mostly a tabletop person, but I do like board games.
Tabletop over here as well. Possibly where she got it from, I can't be sure. But yeah, I'm a great parent. I let her play Cards Against Humanity with myself, my friends, and my dad. So she was playing Cards Against Humanity with her grandfather, and he had a great time. I mean, his face was red. He was laughing so hard, and he won, which was even funnier. And then we let Josh, who is 17 now, that the panel got to meet earlier, and he didn't know what half of the things were in the game, and he was just playing cards and doing surprisingly well, which made the rest of us laugh harder. For game favorites for me, I would say Catan, Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Oh, I love that game.
Is a great one. And then I have a couple of old favorites that I haven't gotten to play in a long time because they're so complicated and take so much time. I still have the original Starfleet Battles, and I have the original Civilization board game. That is the thing that spawned Sid Meier's whole video game empire. I can actually see it from where I'm sitting right now. Here, this is me looking at it by Avalon Hill Games. Game's probably older than many of the people listening.
So I play a lot of video games and board games. I have a huge amount of games. My family tends to play Munchkin every Christmas, so we do have a Munchkin obsession.
Munchkin's a good one.
Yeah. And for video games, I prefer the Elder Scrolls series. I play that until I've done just about everything in there. I just love the open world and creating characters. I create a lot of characters. If I'm introduced to a game and I'm going to be a player, I'm going to create so many characters until I'm satisfied with what I have.
Gotta get your money's worth. I'm big on video games, big on board games. Spent a unnatural amount of time within Skyrim and Fallout 4 on the Xbox. Also enjoy Overwatch a lot. For board games, Betrayal House on the Hill is a great one. Love that one. Play one called Robo Rally. It's a fun little party game. Cards Against Humanity. You bring out a board game, I'll play it with you.
I personally really like World of Warcraft. Go figure. And I think the last board game that we purchased was Pandemic Cthulhu.
Yes.
And what?
Oh, that's nice. That's
What?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's a thing?
it is a thing.
Yep.
Oh my god, I must
Seems
have
like
that.
another game for us to lose.
I actually have a question.
Yeah.
Holy crap. There's this game I heard from a couple of friends of mine who actually live in the area. They play this thing called crap. I think it's Asylum. I think the name's one of the things is called Asylum. Like Asylum's in the name in there. And I'm not 100% certain if it's a board game or a tabletop game, but it's interesting. I've never played it with them yet.
Not sure.
I'm spacing on the name real bad.
Board games for me, Kittens in a Blender for a card game, just because, well, Kittens in a Blender.
Makes sense.
Board games, I would have to go with Zombicide for sure. I love
it.
I love co-ops.
I kickstarted that, so yeah.
Yeah, Zombicide stuff.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And honestly, it's like it's been marketed for kids, but there are no kids that are going to beat this game, and that's freaking Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. That freaking game is so hard and so frustrating. It's a co-op game. It's kind of a deck builder at the same time. And you can burn all the way through like year 4, but then when year 5 hits, it becomes so frustrating. I've never seen 4 or 5 adults begin to cry over a board game.
I actually got that for a coworker. I think she cursed me.
Yeah,
No longer speak.
that game is so
Is that what
hard.
you're saying?
Yeah, that game is so hard. As far as video games, if I actually got time to play them, yeah, World of Warcraft. I've been playing World of Warcraft since beta. So yeah, and for all those people out there that complain about the nerfs and all that, my guild back in the day was part of the beginning of all the nerfs that hit World of Warcraft. So sorry about that. Blame Blizzard, but yeah, my guild was one of them. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of what I do. I don't have enough time to actually play board games. This is where I'm sitting now is pretty much where I sit about 15, 16 hours a day, trying to grow this channel and diffuse things and talk to the higher ups in the industry and try to. I spend a lot of time sitting here wondering if I'm ever going to become a D&D Beyond insider or.
I think a lot of it is mod management, you know.
Yeah, the moderators, man. If you could see the stuff that goes on in the background with the moderators on this channel, oh Lord, that and then this. I don't know who it was that came up with this asinine idea of doing the what are they, the forgers or the smiths or some shit like that. Those guys are out of control and out of hand. So let's move on to another
I'm
question.
a perfect little bean. I am the best.
Let's see.
Is it just me, or because I was thinking about Munchkin, and it made me think of other Steve Jackson games, but it seems like they just like to make games that make people mad at each other. Because I mean, you've got Munchkin, you've got Illuminati, you've got Car Wars. It's all things that you're going to end up in a fist fight with one of your best friends before the evening is over.
Yeah. Cutthroat
It's
games.
so
I love that stuff.
I mean, it's
But then again, I'm
vicious.
also a DM, so I like seeing people get kind of cutthroat.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's why my daughter loves it.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awkward
we can't get through one
laughter.
of those.
Wait,
We can't get
here,
through one of those types of games.
here's one that's a little bit more on a serious point. This is from a young man. I think his mom helped him submit this thing just from the spelling involved. It's a subsys cyber. I think
That would be me.
Oh, okay. What was your worst RPG moment, and did you ever go back to that group?
Oh, that's not a good question.
I have a great story. So my worst RPG moment was my first time DMing, and I could not leave the group because I live with them. It was with just my dad and my brother, and I was very new to the game. I was very, very new to DMing. Obviously, it was my first time. and I had a super silly campaign that was based loosely on Hello from the Magic Tavern song, 7 Dragons and a Baby, where the whole campaign was them fighting 7 dragons in succession and then a baby. And I didn't really understand how to build encounters. So I built an encounter that was far too hard for them and pretty much almost one-shotted both of them. And then Brian was getting mad at me, like, you're going to kill us. And so we like rolled back, we rewound, redid a few turns so that they had an honest chance and could win. I lowered the hit points of the dragon and I learned from it. And so now I'm super duper precise about balancing encounters. So if you ever have a bad experience, you just have to learn from it and be better next time.
You mean just the fact that the dragon's average damage from a breath weapon was enough to one-shot kill us?
Yeah, that was a thing I learned.
It's a good thing to learn.
And now I know and will not make that mistake again.
It's true.
Okay, so my worst moment with an RPG group. Oh shit. Okay, so this was the group that got me started in January. I'm not really talking to 2 of the people anymore. And I'm talking to like most of them, but there's like 2 people in this group. I could go on forever about every little thing that went wrong. But the person who was DMing when I joined in January, oh my god, this guy never touched the frickin' rules, not even the core rule. And he had a player character on top of that in the group with everyone else. So he was DMing and being a character. I see you, Charles. I see you right there. You can tell my frustration. So yeah, eventually things like outside drama kind of just got into the group and people just fell apart. And so yeah.
Okay.
Next.
I guess I'll tell mine. It was pretty bad. So I just got out of the military. I started college because, you know, I was getting paid by the military afterwards to do college, which was pretty good. But I went to a gaming store because I'd never actually been living in this area. It was completely new to me. I hear feedback. Is somebody... No? Okay, I'll continue. So the gaming store, the person that was DMing actually worked there, and I guess I offended his wife, and he was the DM.
Oh.
The way I offended her was I didn't want to do what she told me to do, so she shot magic missiles at me. So I sicked my wolf on her because it was 3rd edition or 3.5, I'm not sure which, but my wolf would have killed her pretty easily. And they decided that my wolf was not allowed to do that. And later in the campaign, it was probably a few weeks later, they decided to chain my character up from some kind of cult to the goddess of love and rape me. And I decided, you know, maybe I don't want to play this game anymore because, yeah, that's pretty harsh for some kind of retribution for trying to defend myself against a player versus player combat. And I never returned to that gaming store again.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's wow.
That's jacked up,
Okay.
man. That's...
Okay. That made things downhill slide after mine.
Yeah. It was a little dark.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I'm very happy to you.
Whoever it was that asked that question asked for the worst experience. So I mean, you know, you gotta go where the question goes, right?
I wonder who asked that. They're horrible.
Yeah. Subs. Let me get mine out of the way really quick because it's really short and maybe it'll take some of the edge off of his. My worst gaming experience involved an ambulance, 3 cop cars, a traffic control unit, and a canine unit. So yeah.
In real life?
What?
In real life, yes. We had a player at a game that was really overstepping his bounds. And when one of the female players went up to go to the bathroom, we heard a scream come out of the bathroom, and two of us went in there and pretty much dismantled the individual while the others called the police. And the town that this happened in, I had a bit of a reputation, so the police always seemed to show up. One of these days on stream, I'll actually show the newspaper clippings of the Satanic Panic thing, and where me and one of my friends actually gave a talk. We gave a talk. It was supposed to be the city council. We wound up giving a talk in front of 800 people at the National Guard Armory in the town that we were in. Yeah, that was really, really fun. So next.
So that was the less dark story. That was the uplifting one.
Yeah, that was the uplifting one. That was the
Very
I follow
uplifting.
it since we're on the downward spiral here, because mine's not going to be great either. But again, it wasn't so much an experience with the game as it was with the people, and it was high school, and you're the misfit among misfits, and it was a Marvel superheroes role-playing game, and one of the guys, his dad owned a small restaurant. It was like a lunch counter hot dog type place, and that's where we played. And so it was the night to play, so I showed up, and the door was locked. And I knocked, and I could hear them, and all of a sudden the lights got shut off, and I could hear laughing, and they ran and hid, and they never let me in, and I never went back. But it was pretty demeaning and humiliating, and it was fairly horrible, and it fortunately did not turn me off to gaming, but yeah, it was not a great day for me. And fortunately, because it wasn't in the best part of town, my dad, who had dropped me off, waited to make sure I got inside before leaving, because this was before the age of cell phones, so I would have had to find an invention that some of you kids out there may not know about. It's called a payphone, to try and get a ride home.
I know what a payphone is. We still have some. We used to have some in the area where I grew up.
So my story is not as bad as some of yours, but it is kind of a two-parter. We found a group back in 4th edition, and of the group, only 3 of us had ever played before. So we were teaching 4 people how to play. And at some point during this campaign, one of the players decided he wanted to try his hand at DMing. And it went horribly. He railroaded us so horribly. And then he got bored about a month in and decided to just kill us all off without talking to us about it or, anything like that. And then kind of in the background, we had acquired another player who had also never played before. He didn't have many friends. He wasn't very popular, but we were kind of taking him under our wing. And long story short, his girlfriend ended up telling him he could no longer play with our group if I was involved with the group. And because of the fact that he had no friends, we were asked to leave. So we did not go back to that group.
That was rough.
People suck.
People do
Sometimes. But, you keep playing, and you have a lot more good experiences than you do bad.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, my good experience was my bard nearly getting her face bit off. Courtesy
It was
of
just a jaw.
It was
Yeah,
just
right.
a jaw. Well, that's all right then.
My worst RPG experience is Child's Play compared to you guys. We had a little spat and that was it. So actually, I'm technically a part of this crew. Last Sunday we were supposed to be on technically our 6th session, but it would have been our 2nd, and that bugs me a little bit. We've planned out these times. The DMs put a whole lot of effort into it. Make at least the courtesy to show up and put forth an effort. That's the thing that bugs me the most, and I'm planning on leaving the crew if they don't pull their act together. I just find that annoying.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's happening right now.
Yeah, it's going on currently. I'll give them one more chance, and if they decide to push it off because either they forgot or they're watching WrestleMania, then don't get me wrong, WrestleMania is great and everything, but Guy's put a lot of hours into his homebrew campaign, and it's a little. I just kind of find that annoying.
You know, I heard that if you get a Forge at the table, you give them a follow, you join their Discord, you can play some games there.
I'll have to try that out.
Everybody hear that? I hear that dungeon master over there, that lead guy that they got, the guy with the goatee. I hear he's just horrible. Like he's a killer DM, kills everybody. Handsome as all get out, but no.
I mean, I heard he'll let you sing on stream if you're a bard.
Yeah, but if you do it bad, I'll rip your jaw off.
I'm waiting.
I didn't even get to sing at that point. You ripped my jaw off before I could.
I hear we have a country singer coming on the stream soon.
We do. Kenny Brown.
Can't wait to see that.
Oh my god.
I'm not.
Signy is going to fuck
For those
with his
people out there
shit.
that do not like country music, there will be a bits bonus section down below that if you pay me bits, I will mute his microphone.
I suppose it's better
how
to
many?
take bits and kill his character. I mean, you know.
Does that count for other players as well?
Maybe. So let's see. Let's find something a little less heavy.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's like all these are like.
All of them are heavy, man.
Yeah, they're all just So,
Too heavy, man.
what is this one's actually anonymous? Why is somebody actually like people actually sent me anonymous questions?
It must be heavy.
So from anonymous viewer, follower, subscriber, or whoever you may be, what is one or two of your greatest RPG moments? I'm assuming they're talking about those things that really stick out in your head. And we'll start with Firehawk.
One of my favorite moments was in the group I was just talking about in 4th edition. I was playing a ranger. And if you've ever played with me, you know I have horrible dice rolling skills. I rolled a nat 1 on an attack. And then rolled another nat 1 to see what happened. And the DM decided that we were in this burning city that was filled with zombies and skeletons and whatnot. We were kind of in a dead end, blocked off by a horde. And I went to shoot a skeleton, missed, hit the support beam of the burning building behind it. And the DM ruled that the support beam got destroyed and the entire building fell on top of the horde of zombies in front of us. So it was both a fail and an amazing epic win.
That's good.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
I think for me, it's hard to pick a single moment again, just because I've been playing and DMing for close to 40 years, and there are so many moments in there. If it was a D&D like moment, it would be we were trying to bluff our way into an orc garrison, and so we went as door-to-door people selling crystal moss cookies, and the orcs weren't buying our bluff, and so I said, here, have a cookie, and rolled an attack and got a nat 20, and so the DM allowed me to choke an orc to death with a cookie. And that I would say was a moment of great joy.
That is amazing.
One of my favorite failures, because failures are some. I'm trying to think of a success, and I can't think of any. But I was playing in my very first campaign. I was playing a half-elf rogue, and I was sneaking ahead. And, yeah. And the wizard decided to send her familiar up with the keys because she forgot that I knew how to pick locks.
Yes,
and so I was like rolling
familiar.
super well with my stealth, and then this hawk comes flying down with the keys going jingle, 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 and just drops them right next to me and completely ruined my stealth.
Well, they were heavy iron keys, and the
Yeah.
raven was not really strong enough to carry them, so it was more hopping down the stairs, clank, clank, clank. But yeah.
So, still mad at her to this day.
One of my favorite successes is during a campaign we were in one of the plains of hell, and a chimera came up out of nowhere. I was playing with my Horrorcross, my rogue, was able to hide in a crater and then attack him with ranged, and brought him down with a single shot. Just critical. Oh, it was so great. That was a great moment. Another great moment was just this last Wednesday, planting a kiss on on Cadence, and the single finger. The first one's for free.
It was horrible.
Favorite moment so far.
That was
so
good.
great.
That was good. I liked
That
it.
was good. That was
It's a
There
good.
were so many good moments in that session.
Oh, so fun.
So anybody else left?
Me or subs? You go first, subs. I've been talking over you.
Well, I really can't think of like the greatest moment or anything like that right now. Most of the time I've played has been a DM lately, except for maybe play by posts or the current game that we have, A Walk Beyond. But I do know one of the most prideful moments I've had was actually DMing my daughter and
Aw.
having her make those decisions for the first time in a D&D game and actually thinking through her actions and stuff like that. It was really great. I loved it. It was good.
Definitely. For me, it's from a DM standpoint because I don't get a chance to play. I think I've jumped into actually 3 campaigns here on the channel, and all 3 of them I've jumped right back out just for time concerns and to let other people jump into them. But both of mine, I don't know, maybe they're ego strokes, but about 14 years ago at Origins gaming convention, which is kind of geared more as an insider convention. It's more of a corporate type thing. There's gaming and stuff that goes on, but it's definitely geared. Me and a very good friend of mine and some friends of ours, he was debuting his tabletop role-playing game, which is called Cold Steel Rain. You can't actually buy it anymore. A bunch of catastrophic events happened that buried that poor game, but one of these days I'll maybe run it here on the channel. But anyways, we were at Origins in the open gaming room. It was about 10 o'clock at night. There was about 300 people, including a person that works for Wizards of the Coast by the name of Chris. I'm not going to drop the last name Perk because that wouldn't be the right thing to do. But yeah, that
I don't know that guy.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
But anyways, we were there, me and one of my good friends who you're actually going to get a chance to meet tomorrow night as he's taking up a role in the Long Road campaign. We were doing basically a Mexican standoff between my Mexican gunslinger and his gunfighter character. And we literally got to the point that we got so wrapped up into it that we both stood up at the exact same moment, like we were going to draw. My chair literally, I was so glad that nobody was at the table right behind us because it flew into that table. And I rested, happened to be a beam right behind me, and I rested my back against it. And we're sitting there, and I tucked my fingers into my belt loop, and I gave off. I grew up for a large part of my life in East LA. So there was a time in my life when I would get mad, I would actually have this weird Mexican style accent. So I did this great Clint Eastwood spaghetti western. So, you think you got what it takes to draw down on me, do you, gringo? And I just went, and we did this for about 15, 20 minutes. The gunfight ends, and you start to hear these claps. And we're both kind of like, what? And we kind of come out of character and we look around, and there was roughly about 250 people in the open gaming area at Origins Game Convention that were literally clapping for us for this game.
Awesome.
That's great.
Okay, well, that's gonna pale my comparison. But
well, actually, yeah, go ahead, because I got one more after you.
Yeah, my success. One of my favorite successes. You can tell I haven't been playing for very long because I can't really think of anything. But there was this one time in the campaign with a really shitty DM that I rolled to see if I remembered this underground dungeon area. That was my first ever nat 20. I just yelled, I got a nat 20! The girl sitting next to me, who's one of my friends that I still talk to, looked over and went, oh my god, that's cool! And it was just like, I was glowing with pride. It was my first ever nat 20.
Did you find anything?
Oh, I didn't find anything, but I remember that dungeon area perfectly. It was like a fully shaded map in the back of my head.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Best 20 ever.
The other
It
one that
was my
rivals the Origin one was a house game that we were running just about the same time period as when we went to Origins. And it was D&D 5th edition, and the main reason I'm telling you it was such a high point in my life, and my wife was involved in it. But at that time, I was running a campaign. I think we had fluxed between 9 and 10 players for each session, and the entire party had gotten wiped out deep inside of this huge, massive dwarven hold, to which I had hand drawn. I think at the end of it was 112 8 by 11 pieces of graph paper, which mapped out the whole hold. And they were as about as deep into it as you could get. The hold starts collapsing. But the thing that was amazing is a lot of times when you're running games and players die, they'll kind of section off, go to other rooms and stuff like that, and start drawing up the next characters. As my wife with her half drow character and another friend of ours with their paladin began as the last two members charging out of this dwarven hold, we literally had 9 players that were hovering over the table for 2.5 hours, cheering on every single die roll and every move that these two made, trying to get their way out. I mean, they came close to dying, and there was this huge like tension moment. There'd be a nat 20 and a huge roar, and I've never seen that before that or since then, where I actually was able to capture people to that extent. So that was...
Maybe you'll see it again.
And I'll say this right now, that the people in Idaho, you need to go back to brewing school, because your Imperial Brown Ale sucks. Anyways.
Oh.
I think from a DM perspective, I would have to say one of the more entertaining moments, and just because of the sheer amount of epic failure, was my current in real life campaign. And this was like a lot of these people's first time playing D&D, so I was helping them along with the rules and everything. They all had their characters, and they had this ridiculously elaborate plan where they were going to try and trick this group of bandits that kind of run this town, and they were sitting at their corner table at the bar. And so they set the rogue down, and he was told to give the high sign if he was in trouble, and the high sign was this. And they had all kinds of stuff prepared, and basically he didn't really think through any of the things that he was going to ask them, and when they started asking questions back, he was not at all prepared. And he was like, yeah, I want you to come out to the woods with me, and I'm gonna, we'll do this deal for this magic potion that I have. And they're like, why can't you just show me the potion here? And he stood there for a second, and then another second, and then he just went like this. And the monk threw a poisoned dart at the leader of the bandits and rolled the first roll of the campaign, which was a natural 1, and took out the rogue. And then the barbarian made his attack and rolled the second roll of the campaign, which was a natural 1, and got his war pick stuck in the wall. And the ranger, who was probably the most capable person, was sitting off at a table in the corner with her hood up, and she's like, nope, I'm not getting involved in this. I want no part in this unless anyone looks like they might get hurt. And they very nearly died in their first encounter just by bad rolls.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It was fun.
All right, so Maya Weiss Girl asks, what advice do you have for new players and new DMs?
That is a good question.
For players, just get in there. Just get yourself involved and start playing. If the DM is any good, they will help you along with the rules, and you don't have to worry about knowing what skills or what stats or anything like that. And they'll just say to you, what do you want to do? You tell them what you want to do, and over time, you'll learn what things you're going to need to roll for that, because they'll say things like, okay, give me a medicine check. And you'll say, what's a medicine check? Roll a d20, and they'll point out right where on your sheet the skill is for that. And before you know it, it's all second nature to you. This group that I was just talking about, so many of them didn't know what they were doing at all, and now our sessions run ridiculously smoothly.
I have to agree with Brywire there. It's very, very easy to actually start playing. All you have to do is just ask the DM whether or not you can do something, or just tell him what you want to do, like he said, and most likely he will try to make it happen.
Don't be afraid to screw up.
Yeah.
Screwing up is fun sometimes.
Yes.
Yes.
The best
yes.
stories come from the biggest failures. Also, remember to tell a story. Don't get so caught up in doing everything right or being perfect that you forget that what you're doing is getting together with a group of people that you presumably like, and all telling a story together. And so do what is interesting, and don't be scared.
Yeah, this one goes for both players and DMs. Just go with the flow. It's gonna happen whether you like it or not, for the most part, and you're there for a good time. It's not meant to be anything difficult or anything. You're there to have fun.
Oh goodness gracious, advice that I wish somebody had told me before I stepped into that room in January. Don't be afraid to leave your campaign if your DM is shit. Seriously, don't be afraid to. If your DM isn't willing to help you, then you shouldn't be in there. If you have a genuine interest for this game, find someone who's going to help you out.
Yeah, one of the things I've learned is that you can find games anywhere, including Korea and the Middle East. You'll always be able to find a game somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be fun for you. If you're not having fun, why do it?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't find a game, make one. You know, if you've never DM'd before, you know, run, jump before you know how to crawl, and just go for it.
I would say because I'm going to get long-winded here. I would say for players, communicate with your dungeon master or your games master, and don't hesitate to create and craft your own narrative within what's going on. One of the things that I love seeing is when players get out of that ice swing kind of mentality and then leaving it up to the dungeon master or the games master. I like it when I see players begin to take that narrative for themselves and begin to describe the actions that their players are taking, whether it's drawing a sword or casting a spell, actually going into how and what the character is doing and getting a lot of flourish into it. But again, it all comes back to talking to your DM. I mean, if your DM's not a narrative type person and they don't want to give free rein to players to do that, then definitely don't do it. But I would say definitely talk to your DM. For new DMs, listen to your players. That's probably the number one thing. And when I say listen to your players, I don't mean just what their characters are saying. 24/7, 7 days a week, in game, out of game, listen to your players. If you have two players and you're going for a beer down at the bar or whatever you're doing, or you're going out for dinner and they're having a conversation about current politics and all of that, listen to what they're saying, because you can derive a whole lot just out of personal belief and things like that you can tie in. Also, by listening to your players, they will tell you what they want in a campaign without even ever actually telling you directly, if you listen to what they're saying and the way they're playing their characters. So definitely listening to what your players have to say. Having developed the confidence that when you create something, to put it on the table in front of your players, and have trust in them and confidence in your own skills to take your hands away from that and let it go wherever it's going to go. I think that far too many new DMs get wrapped up in the whole over prep mentality, and they spend hours upon hours upon hours prepping for a 3-hour game session. And one of the worst things that can happen with that is you end up investing so much of yourself into your creation that you're afraid to let it go. You wind up railroading, you wind up forcing players to do what they don't want to do, and it might be subtle, but players will pick up on it, and you will find that you're without players fairly quickly, and you wind up getting a reputation in your local game circles where people don't want to have anything to do with that. So don't over prep. Go out and watch videos. If you have a local theater company and they have classes and stuff like that, we have Missoula Children's Theater. We also have Montana Rep here where I live, and there are several classes to the University of Montana a lot of times that are free. Go take those classes. Improv classes, if you ever get a chance to take those, take them, because they will step you so far along the road of DMing in ways you can never imagine. People watch.
I don't think anybody here does improv.
Hi. Hello. As a college student that is very invested in her theater and actually is pursuing a theater degree, if your college does offer a theater class and you're a student there, take it. Take it, for the love of God.
Yeah, don't. The other thing is yeah, by doing the improv thing, also do a lot of people watching. Like when you're out in public, it takes no effort just to observe the way people are interacting with each other, but also pay attention to scenes and things as they're developing in front of you. Like if you have a farmer's market, God, go to that farmer's market for 2 hours and you'll have a book full of NPCs and situations that, yeah, it's in the modern era, but it's so easy to drape over any genre that you might want to fit over it. And having just letting go, having fun and understanding and realizing that as a DM, the other 4, 5, 6, however many people that are at your table are there for the exact same reason. So communication around a tabletop is absolutely paramount. As long as everybody understands what everybody's wanting, it's really, really, really simple. And if anything else fails and you're a new dungeon master, definitely have the scalp slide off the back of the head. Never the front, always the back.
Or let your rogue persuade someone to kill themselves in the middle of an encounter. Yeah, that's a gem from my campaign. Our rogue, who was a first ever brand new player to D&D ever, he took I don't know what was going through his head, but he suggested that, and I looked at him and I said, all right, fine. What's your persuasion? He had a 26.
Ooh.
Nice.
In persuasion.
And the other thing is don't get wrapped up. God, there is this damn myth floating around that there's some kind of special potion you drink in some back room that turns you into a dungeon master or a games master. That is
that's how I became one.
That's such a hokey bunch. Excuse the French, but it's such a hokey bunch of bullshit. There's no secret formula. The secret formula is just doing it. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to promote my channel a little bit, because if you are somebody out there that wants to dungeon master for your first time and you have apprehension, which is completely understandable, send me a PM, drop a follow, send me a PM on Discord. And if it takes talking to you every day for 6 months for you to step forward and run your first game, I will do it. I will take the time to do it and help you, because that's something that we need sorely more of in this world, is people that are willing to run games and kind of light the way for other people. There are no secrets to it. It's just a case of wanting to have fun and tell a story and all that. I mean, people are I get so many weird messages from people, and it's hard for me to deal with because I'm not used to like being in this limey light kind of sort of thing. But if I could show you my notes, and we're talking about possibly making my notes available to subscribers or possibly doing a Patreon for it, people are going to be feeling like they sorely overpaid for my notes, because you're literally like tomorrow's game of A Walk Beyond, you would literally get a 4-inch thing that just has 10 lines, I believe, on it right now. And that's all it is. It's just a simple outline to let me know kind of some of the things that are there, and there's a little nether section to let me know what's kind of gone before. I fly by the seat of my pants so damn much that it's amazing. The whole scalp coming off thing, that was completely improv. The only thing I had planned from that night was the initial encounter and the Brotherhood of the Writ. Cadence going off on her own was completely off cuff, and again, that kind of harkens back to the whole thing of, if you over prep, you're not going to feel like you can let go enough to allow these things to happen. Let your players tell the story. You're one part, like on Bubbles, there's 6 of us involved in that. As the dungeon master, you're just one part of that. Your job there is to facilitate it, kick the tires, help it get rolling, and then let your players go with it. They'll tell you exactly what it is that they want. If you're a new dungeon master, if you are a dungeon master or an aspiring dungeon master, you haven't ran your first game and you just want to talk shop, feel free to send me. Oh, we lost people. Oh, there we go. He's back. It's back. She's back. Somebody's back. Feel free to get a hold of me on Discord. You don't even have to drop a follow on the channel. If you just want to talk shop and you're new to this, drop me a message on Discord, and I will make the time to sit down and literally talk to you and answer any questions you have. It is, DMing is quite honestly one of the greatest things, and it's one of the reasons why I don't play a whole lot, because I'm so addicted to the storytelling aspect of it and creating and watching people. The first time that you actually sit there and you watch people, and especially on a stream, it's really a different environment because everybody's right in front of you and you have a captured audience. But watching their faces when a high point hits, or like when they come in and there's Kali waiting for them, or the scalp comes off the back of the head, or when Maya finally saw the writ hanging off of the side, the final description. Oh, what do we got a whole lot of stuff going on here. Forgotten Grim, thank you for the follow. Welcome to our unique and yes, sometimes dysfunctional family. And SFC Geno, thank you as well for the follow. Welcome you both to our unique family. I hope you guys find a good home here. But seeing people's reactions to what it is you're doing as a storyteller, but for me, it's gone way deeper than that. One of the deepest things is watching players interact with each other and seeing their reactions as their players do certain things. As a DM, for me, is one of the high points. And again, that takes being able to take your hands off of it and letting your players tell the story. It's their story. I mean, you're just playing roles, but honestly, when it comes down to the end of the day, you can have a lot of fun as a GM and a DM, but it is your player's story. Let them tell it, and they will direct you. So listen to them. I'm sorry, I'm getting really long-winded. But
isn't this why we have this show?
Yeah, so. kind of. But yeah, that's definitely what I would do. So go ahead there, Bri.
I mean, definitely one of the most satisfying things is when you play through a moment with one of your players and you get real and genuine emotion. There have been some situations in the in real life game where people have cried through what was going on, and when you've been able to set up a situation and make something seem that real that they're crying, you know you are telling a compelling story.
I have had people cry. I have had 2 people piss themselves. I have had a United States Marshal come up over the table at me. I have had one gal who quit gaming. She quit gaming. She won't game anymore. They fell in love with a Gudrick who was a chaotic good hill dwarf or hill giant. That had a love of soup and stew, and they had an ever-filling pot. He became a friend, and he became a recurring NPC. And because of the storyline, it became time that I had to have him give his life for theirs. And when
No.
I did that, she literally bawled her eyes out. She threw her dice at me, and she has not gamed a day since.
Damn.
You can do a lot through tabletop role playing games. So we're gonna get away from the questions for just a little bit. Some of the things that you can do, because Subs brought up a really cool thing, and that's your kids. I've been lucky enough. I brought my daughter up through tabletop RPGs, and as a young dad, I had a horrific nightmare experience happen because I forgot that she was sitting at the table. And I don't know if people have seen, but I have the ability to describe things a little bit. And sometimes the darker things can get horrible. She was 9 years old. They went into a forest that had a bunch of flayed goblins pinned to trees. And I described it. And then I got a call from my mom, who was babysitting for us the next night, asking why the hell it was that Kayla was having nightmares about goblins stuck to trees.
No.
But the coolest thing about tabletop RPGs, one of the coolest things, is the fact that you can teach morals. You can use that to inform people and do a lot of cool things. And the bonds that you can build with your kids through tabletop gaming are completely unlike a lot of other things that you're going to come across. The morals thing is a big thing that I'll often do. I still run games every once in a while for kids. Matter of fact, one of the games that was going to be on here, which became Adventure Weekly, was actually supposed to be with my two nephews. But there's terms of service things with Twitch, and while their legal department never got back to me, I was like, no, we're not gonna tempt them to shut us down. But yeah, I love for me tabletop role playing games are it's kind of like lifeblood in a lot of ways, because it literally has saved my life. And I don't want to get sappy and all that crap, but I do suffer from clinical and diagnosed depression and anxiety, and not social anxiety. Literally, before I do a lot of these shows, I will literally be on a knee just trying to get my breathing under control. I have come close to passing out a couple times right before the shows, just from anxiety and all that. And the depression side of things, gaming has helped immensely. This channel is incredible. So there's a lot of, and I know that depression is a real thing for a lot of gamers, as is anxiety as well. So tabletop games to me tabletop RPGs is a really special thing. And I'm going to work through some issues through Bubbles.
Oh no.
I had a pet
Happy to
turtle.
oblige.
I had a pet turtle when I was a young kid, and it bit my finger. And
How'd it taste?
Explain their whole game.
Hey,
Yeah,
that
it's bitten
explains.
your finger.
Yeah, that explains the missing finger.
So yeah, if anybody out there does want to get involved in some tabletop role-playing games, whether it's D&D, Doctor Who, Blades in the Dark, or any other number of games, all you have to do is drop a follow on us here and get a hold of me over on Discord, or just keep your ears open. Like I said, in the month of May, it's looking like we might have as many as 18 brand new spots in games. We are currently looking for a player in Bryway's Something Wicked This Way Comes campaign. And just from watching what's going on in Maya's channel and knowing that they're kind of sharing that setting, I cannot wait to see this. I'm gonna have so much fun producing it, putting smiley faces on them. And no, I'm not gonna do that. But I'm gonna have so much fun. So there is indeed a current opening. And there's going to be more openings down the way. I know people have anxiety and things like that. The only people that are required to 110% have a cam are the DMs. I want people to be able to see that. If you can use a camera, that would be so magnificent, because it really helps the people that are watching. But if you can't, then we can work around that, as long as you have headset and microphone, and all that. We can get you into games. So let's move on to a less Let's see here.
A shorter topic.
A shorter topic.
One that we can't fill the whole show with.
Pyro Druid. Pyro Druid. Matter of fact, ladies, man, everywhere I look, there's openings on this thing. Pyro Druid will actually be kicking off. He's going to be running a Tuesday night campaign, 9 p.m. Eastern, on the opposite nights of Bryway's game. He is actually going to be running the wonderful Storm King's Thunder. There was a poll that was up on our Discord channel, on our poll channel, asking what you guys wanted to see, either Storm King's Thunder or Tomb of Annihilation. So we're going to be looking for 4 to 5 players for that. If you guys want to get jumped in on that, I believe the kickoff for that thing is, let me see here really quick. We are going to be kicking the tires on that one in May. I think let's see. I'll make an announcement, but if you want to be involved in that campaign, get a hold of me. I love these shows because when I'm running on E, I can just sit there and go, hey, let's ramble about stuff, and people will call it entertainment. So let me see. What are your actually? Hold on. Where was that? Pyro Druid asks favorite systems to play in and favorite systems to run.
D&D 5e. Especially since, I kind of like D&D Beyond. It's a pretty good system. I don't know. Yeah. No advertisement,
Yeah, Beyond has kind of revolutionized the way you DM. I mean, it's made life so much easier.
I mean, I've only played Pathfinder and D&D so far, so I'm gonna have to say D&D 5e to run and maybe play in. Mainly only because of this awesome channel. I don't know. A crazy little thing called Forged at the Table. I don't know if you guys heard of it.
Mostly played 5e. Currently playing a Rifts campaign, but their system is awful.
It's so great. It's so great, isn't it?
It's too complicated, too convoluted, too many roles, not enough storytelling, in my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of Rifts. Maybe that's just the way my DM plays it, but yeah. Nothing against it, but not my cup of tea.
It's really not the greatest system, but it's interesting world. A little bit like Shadowrun.
Love the setting, love the idea of it, but it's too complicated.
I've never really run anything, but obviously playing 5e or any D&D. I also really enjoyed World of Darkness the little bit that I got to play. 7th Sea was quite interesting.
That's coming to the channel.
Yay!
Both of them.
Wow. Thinking ahead.
I've only ever played. We played the superhero
Champions.
And like it was a little. I didn't spend enough time trying to learn it. I really just wanted to punch things really hard, which I did.
She was a very one-dimensional character and just basically punched normal thugs through walls and managed to do enough damage to kill them with single
But I love D&D 5. I love D&D 5e. It's pretty much the only thing I've ever played or run. I'm playing around with its versatility with this whole modern universe and seeing kind of where we can take those mechanics and what we can do with them. So I look forward to bringing that to this channel.
Yeah, Maya, I'm actually kind of interested in making my own little spin-off for the Modern Verse for a potential one-shot that I have yet to throw Charles's way, but I'll have to ask you about that for Modern Verse stuff.
I would have to go with, oh man, this is tough. And it's kind of funny because everybody would naturally expect me to say D&D 5th edition. But D&D 5th edition because of D&D Beyond. if it wasn't for D&D Beyond, it would definitely be Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars or their Genesis system, because
I would agree.
That system is flat out so amazing once people get the dice down and begin to see and unwrap the power there is in those narrative damn dice that they built. That game system, and people are going to get a chance to see it here on Forged at the Table, because that'll be bi-weekly. But yeah, I would say that one. I'm going to touch on something really quick, because one of the other questions. Holy cow, we're getting more. Wow, this new like sound is crazy in my headsets. So we have got, wow, cars. Shauna, I'm going to massacre the damn names. So Shauna, thank you for the resub of Tier 1 for a 3rd month. Super appreciate that. That is the player of Regina in the Long Road, for everybody who does not know. But I would say, I've been asked, what are the questions I've been asked so much? Well, actually, hold on. I'll let everybody else answer the question, then I'll come back to this. So go ahead. Next person, please. Dear God, shut me up.
I'll go. 5e for all the reasons already stated. But pretty much any edition of Dungeons & Dragons except 4th, because 4th was rubbish. And
I love 4th.
Sounds like you're rubbish.
No, I didn't say that. Did not say that.
It's because I had a lot of miniatures and I had a nice play mat and we had a lot of time.
That's very true.
My sibling
I didn't
got into 4th. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I didn't like how homogenized everything got in 4th.
MMO.
There was no real distinction.
Yep, that was D&D in the MMO format.
It was very balanced.
That's a word.
That's one way of doing it.
But I also loved Champions. Had a lot of fun in college with a bunch of buddies. We had various super teams, and then of course Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yes.
Both playing and running those were great. Any game that has a sanity mechanic involved, where your character can go insane, and one of the things that can happen is that you suddenly think that you are a pirate. I'm hooked.
I know. Awesome. I know a DM that you will love, and hopefully you join our game.
Excellent.
Yeah. This, I don't know if this counts as a system, but I really like Fiasco.
Yeah, that's a system.
If you're looking for a short, like a comparatively short, the only kind of option are really one shots. But growing up in an improv household, it's basically like sitting down and saying, all right, we're going to do some long form improv for 2 or 3 hours with your friends. And it's a very, very loose system. It's really all just kind of about the acting out the interactions, and I really enjoy that. So,
and everybody
you're looking
dies.
for everyone dies.
Don't get attached to your character.
If you're playing Fiasco, don't get attached to your characters. That's lesson number 1, because we introduced it to a friend who really liked his character and did not understand that it was not going to go well.
And his final roll was a really low number, and he was not happy that he had to kill him off.
Yeah.
And
so
he has never played with us since.
For all those people out there dissing on 4th edition, let me throw this out there. If you honestly hate 4th edition and you think it's the worst edition ever, pick up the gauntlet I'm about to throw down. This winter, I'll run a 4-shot 4th edition, and I'll make you believe that it's the best edition that's ever been there.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Understand, the rules are not rules. They are guidelines. Don't let the system convolute the story that you're telling with it. A lot of times you can take the worst system out there and you get the right person's hands on it, and they can turn it into something that's absolutely unbelievable. So, anyways,
Holy crap! I can get my older sibling to teach me 4E. Yay!
I'm a sucker for doing these things. I open my mouth sometimes. I was like, ugh. But one of the questions I get asked a lot since I've started this channel is, and people find out that I've been playing since D&D. I used to actually have a brown wrap edition of D&D back in the day, and I actually had a chainmail copy back in the day. Is what edition's the best? I'm going to put that to rest really quick. Please don't ask me that question anymore. That email is getting shut down, dear God. The best edition of D&D, when all things are considered, is by far and away 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. If you look at the time frame that 5th edition came into, if you look at what 5th edition and Wizards of the Coast and also companies like D&D Beyond and Curse Gaming in that regard are doing, it's hard to argue that there's been a better edition for Dungeons and Dragons. If you look at what's happening, the system itself is probably the easiest system out there to introduce to brand new players. There's a question coming up, and I'll answer that now. D&D 5th edition is literally what I use to introduce 6-year-olds to tabletop role-playing. It's that simple, and I have never had a problem with them grasping the system. It's flexible. You can use it for multiple genres, and if you look at what's happening right now, tabletop gaming a few years ago, like a year and a half before 5th Ed jumped onto the scene, was literally back in a place where it was dying. The industry itself was suffering, and D&D Beyond has kind of turned, not D&D Beyond, well, yeah, they have too. See, I just love that site. But anyways, D&D 5th edition has turned things around, and with the rise of D&D 5th edition, it pulls all these other companies up alongside of it. And it pulls tabletop role-playing games up alongside of it. And then you have some of the things that have happened, like lightning in a bottle with Critical Role. That is whether you love Critical Role or you hate it, because there is one hell of a divided line now that I never realized until just recently on Critical Role. What they are doing is lifting all of tabletop role-playing gaming up. I live in a town with a liberal arts university, a fantastic place to live. I've seen people with $1.5 million a year jobs take $1 million pay cut to move where I live, and I've seen University of Montana Lady Grizz volleyball players come into one of our game stores and buy a D&D player's handbook based off of Critical Role and Matt Mercer and that crew. That would not have happened 15 years ago in any way, shape, or form. So D&D 5th edition is definitely, in my opinion, and I'm one humble person's opinion, is the best version of D&D 5th edition there is. And I'll fight you. I will fight you, I'll cut you, and I'll cut you deep. So, no, it is. And honestly, I'm going to say it. It's not going to be a commercial, but the best damn website out there for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is D&D Beyond, without a doubt. All those people that are sending me messages telling me about this website, that website, they are copyright violations. So, go ahead and keep telling me them, and I'll keep feeding those websites to WotC. Because hey, don't give them to me. Anyways, so yeah. So a follow-up question of that's kind of come from me. What systems have you not played that you're looking forward to the most outside of Doctor Who? Including
Star
Doctor
Wars.
Who.
Star Wars.
Excited to see the Star Wars one play.
Wow.
I'm really sad that I'll miss the Star Wars campaigns. Like, really freaking sad. Do you know how much I am staring at my summer stage schedule and cursing it for getting into all this game time that I'm missing because of it?
Well, we're gonna have a lot of different time frames popping up. I mean, I've got all of Monday, we've got a big chunk of Friday, we've got all the afternoons. So we're gonna find DMs and GMs to fill those things. But yeah, go around the table. I want to hear what people's what they want to play or what systems out there they find intriguing that they've never played before. Other than Star Wars. I heard 7 people say Star Wars, and there's only 5 or 6 of us.
So,
I really want to play 7C because I like pirates.
That's coming.
Yeah.
Pirates are fun.
Who doesn't love pirates? And also Cthulhu because,
Yes.
I've also heard great things about that. And
That's coming too.
who doesn't love Eldritch Gods?
That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to play some Cthulhu. And right when the game started or the announcement came, I went and bought the book just so I could read up on it. And I've never played it. I've played a lot of the board games, but I've never actually played the RPG.
Well, here's some insider information since we're talking about Call of Cthulhu. As of last year or 2017, or I think maybe third quarter 2016, Chaosium was literally just about ready to file bankruptcy. Chaosium no longer has a brick and mortar store or company. They are a fully digital production right now. There were some bad business moves made. Sandy Peterson and some other folks came back to the company, thankfully, and they've righted the ship. But yeah, Call of Cthulhu will be coming to this channel, both in a play-by-post form, which is filled, and I am going to be running the Cthulhu Chronicles Nothing Sleeps Forever, which is going to be 2 to 4 shot little blurbs of investigation. And when that investigation's done, I'm going to take a week off, reset the next investigation, and a brand new crew of adventurers or investigators. So everybody out there will have a chance over the next year to play Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. And if you think that I can creep you out with D&D 5th edition.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
The only books that I own more of, quite literally novel-wise, as far as a franchise of novels or a group of novels, the only novels that I own as much of as I do Star Wars is Lovecraft's and Cthulhu Mythos stuff. I absolutely love it. If you're not familiar with Call of Cthulhu, go out, find the story, Rats in the Walls.
I was just going to say that.
Read that, and you will never look at a rat or a sound in your house again the same way. Holy crap, I got goosebumps just thinking of that story. So yeah, anyways.
Best.
And anybody else have any games that they have never played?
The Dresden Files system, we bought it.
Yeah.
We tried to start it with some friends, and it was just super convoluted, the character creation, the levels and depth of it, that it was like, it just seemed like too big of an obstacle to get started. So it's like, let's just play D&D instead. And
It's like, that's
we ended up doing a D&D campaign just on the fly with almost no prep, because the Dresden stuff was just so, and I mean, it looked really interesting, but it was just time consuming. And I have the PDF if you want to check it out and see what you think. I'm pretty sure isn't it based on Fate?
Yeah, it's based on Fate. I've owned all the books for that thing on 3 different occasions. But there is Dresden Accelerated, which is the Fate Accelerated version, which is a book. It's a book about this big, which is very, very small. This is one of Evil Hat's books, and it's about half that thickness. And it literally kickstarts the Dresden Files game, and it's an accelerated Fate. It takes a lot of the convolution and stuff out of it and just gives it to you. So that is something that I will go down and buy this next week, and I will sit down and read it, and maybe we'll see some Dresden Files on the channel.
Yeah, the Dresden book that we have is about that thick.
Yeah, I had all 3 of the main ones that are all that thick, and it's such a. First off, I love the Dresden Files, but yeah, it's so just convoluted.
That's part of the reason that's part of the reason I came up with the modern D&D, because I was like, I want to do something kind of like Dresden Files, but I don't want to have to learn a new system. So we're gonna see how it goes.
Here's something. We're talking about games and stuff. Why not? Fantasy Flight Games just released a few months ago Genesis, which is the engine that sits inside the heart of their Star Wars game. And it's one book. It is by far the best bare bones generic RPG I've ever seen in my life. And you, as a GM, it gives you the skeleton to hang all your meaty bits off in a way that is so unbelievably cool. You can literally go in there and create the framework. It's probably the game that I'm going to wind up running my Supernatural Buffy type stuff with, just because it's set up in such a way that I can actually come up with individual powers that are tailored quite literally for specific characters. So with Genesis, what I'll do is you tell me who you're going to play and give me the backstory, and based off of that, I will custom build special powers or special abilities directly related to that character, and it's such a beautiful and elegant, and it's one of those games where the system stays the hell out of the way of the story, which is something I really love. And that's one of the things I love about Fifth Ed is it does a wonderful job of staying the hell out of the way. But for me, it actually just both of them just came in today. Tales from the Loop, role-playing game, and my God, City of Mist. Oh dear God, I've actually thumbed through it for about 20 minutes, and I'm already in love with that book, in love with what they're doing with it. Those two are probably that, and a close third would be Blades in the Dark. Everybody gets to play a bad guy, so that's a really cool concept. Yeah.
So do you love it because it's new?
With both Tales from the Loop and City of Myth, no. I people have been talking about those, and I had a couple people that got a hold of me, and I delved into them, and I like the genre and the way that they're presenting that, like with City of Mist being the whole like detectives and ordinary people and with super ordinary powers, and so it's got that kind of superhero kind of spin to it, but not like we're the Justice League or we're the X-Men or that sort of thing. I love that. And the Tales from the Loop, it's focused in, and this is a game, there was a game that was out there that was put out by Fantasy Flight Games a while ago. If anybody has a hardbound copy of this book and you want to sell it or give it, it's a game called Grimm. And it was put out by Fantasy Flight Games a while ago, and it literally is young kids stuck in Grimm's kind of universe, in the nightmare world of Grimm. And I love games that tackle youth and allow people, because I mean, face it, all of us are well past, or most of us are well past our youth. Some of you still are, and I hate you for that. Yes, Grimm, forgotten, Grimm, yes. But I love games that allow people to kind of explore not just different genres, but different ways of thinking and different psyches and different age groups. And I do a lot of 0 level games where I'll actually have players start out as 13-year-olds and 12-year-olds, and we'll do episodic for like 10 sessions where you don't have an alignment, you don't have a class, you don't have any of that stuff. And the decisions you make through role-playing and through playing the game, you get points, you're allowed to point those points, and then your decisions dictate, your decisions dictate what happens with your character. But I like things that are youth. And so Tales from the Loop has got a very E.T., Stranger Things kind of vibe, where you play younger kids that are investigating this big, bad, evil type thing. So no, Grimm, I can't do that. Those two games right now are super high on my list. I don't get super excited anymore. Last game I got excited for was obviously Genesis, but that wasn't really new to me. I've known that system for a long time. So yeah. Anyways, and Star Wars and Call of Cthulhu, but I've played those. So, anybody else, or are we done with all those?
No. So I've got, in the works, I've got a bunch of buddies who refuse to play D&D because of the setting, which ticks me off, but they're all really into Fallout. I know that there's a Fallout pen and paper game out there.
There is.
Not a huge fan of the system though, so I've been trying to homebrew 5e to match the Fallout.
Nice.
It's a little
Nice.
iffy. I'm still play testing it and stuff, but I'm still trying to find the right system to run it in besides the PNP when that's offered.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Go to Fantasy Flight Games, go to their Genesis forums, and there is a large team of people that have been working on bringing that setting over to Genesis. And I bet you could probably mine that for a hell of a lot of good ideas and turn that over to 5th Ed. Those guys, I actually picked it up and have the early PDF from it, and those guys were doing some incredible stuff for that sort of thing. So, yeah.
There's a system that a buddy of mine was just a Navy buddy of mine was just talking about that was an online game that has become an RPG, like a tabletop. I'll have to see if I can find the name of it. I'm gonna just hop over to a different window for a second, but it was like extremely dangerous.
EVRPG.
Yeah, extremely dangerous role-playing game, and he said it was very Traveler-esque but updated. That could fit your Fallout stuff as well.
Yeah.
So you might look at that.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Solving problems.
that's right. That's what we do on this channel.
Yeah. There's a couple. There's like a lot of pulp games out there that I see that I want to get my greedy little mitts on. The type of things that, like, you know, expedition to like the middle of the earth and a dinosaur realm and all that sort of thing, where everybody's playing 1930s like archaeologists and stuff like that. There's those kinds of games. There's a couple different Call of Cthulhu ones, and right now I'm playing around with picking up one of the Call of Cthulhu ones, which is, it's put out by Chaosium, but it takes Call of Cthulhu 7th edition and goes a little bit more pulp with it. And pulp fiction includes a lot of really crazy, wild stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, so if anybody out there has any games that you either can't find anybody to run, or you can't find players or anything like that, again, give us a follow, get involved on our Discord, send me a message with these games, because I will happily. One of the things we're doing with Forge at the Table is we're literally taking 50 to 60% of what you guys give us in bits and donations and subscriptions, and we're turning around and throwing that right back in to the channel itself. One of the ways that we're throwing it right back into the channel itself is by doing things like buying the books and the games that people bring to my attention. I just got done dropping like $150 on 3 different books to possibly run here on the channel. So that's one of the things that we're definitely getting geared up to do. So I opened up, I'm going to take a quick sidestep here. I opened up Nightbot. And if I've opened up Nightbot, that could only mean one thing.
Oh no!
I am giving away some more dice tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm hoping these ones show up. I showed these off in Discord a couple days ago. We got these. We're gonna give away 4 sets of dice in 2 groups. So you're going to get a full set of Chaosium dice and a set of miniature dice to go along with them. The first set of dice up tonight is going to be these ones. Hopefully they show. Oh, they are showing. These are a teal set of dice. They're teal with gold letters. It is Chessex 27486 Borealis. So they have a very fine shimmery sparkle inside that is absolutely magnificent. These dice are so, let me get them back on screen here, are so absolutely amazing. So for those people who are in here, see, look at their pretty.
Oh, there we go.
And then yeah, I gotta show them first though. But the other set is from Metallic Dice Games. These are miniature dice. We're gonna pop up a white. This is a D12. That's the minis themselves. I'll bring them back over here. So this is a set of sparkle blue miniature dice. So all you have to do to win these is, one, you have to be in the United States. You have to be 13 years or older. If you are between the age of 13 and 17, please understand that I'm going to need to meet with your parents visually on Discord in order to get your information, because here in the United States we have a federal act called the COPA Act, which is about child protection, and I am not about to deal with the feds on that crap. So there you go. If you want to win these dice, all you have to do is type this word into chat one time. You have to be in the States. You have to be 13 or older in order to do it. All you have to do is type in one time. This is indeed in tribute to everybody's favorite murderous portal. Type just one time, or Nightbot will ixnay ya. Type the word bubbles. It's right there in chat. You have let's see, what time is it? You have 18 minutes to enter that in, and you will win those dice. They will be going out sometime next week. We're having some more postal issues here, so we're going to get them set up. And the hype is going to be real because the next set of dice are just as damn cool. So we are literally going to step away. I needed to get up, stretch my legs, talk to my wife, see if my cats are doing okay. My cats really love me. And so I need to go say hi to them. So we're going to be back here in about, I will say, a couple minutes probably. Please continue to hang out with us. We got some more things to go on. We'll be back in just a few moments. Oh, yay!
entertaining, and that's what matters.
I don't
Just
know what
confirmed
I'm
with one,
doing.
They are enjoying it.
Honestly, you know what? I find it entertaining because I'm getting to not only know a player of mine, with friend in the game that's coming up on the 20th, but I'm also getting to know my DM.
Yeah.
Anabastatastic.
Matarabatatistic potato.
Matarabatatistic.
I forgot out of it.
Wonga ponga tonga. Oh wow, shit! Well, we're live. Hey, folks.
We are live.
Completely forgot you were out there. We're just having our own little bit of fun here. Welcome,
Chevy Chase
welcome.
moment.
Thank you for sticking around. We super appreciate it on this maiden voyage of RPG Roundtable. I'm going to touch really quickly on hello, Devin, the wonderful Mrs. Devonrue out there. I am now going to geek fanboy the hell out.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
Hi,
goosebumps. I am such a fan of this lady's amazing cartography and artwork. Wow. Yeah, okay, just let me sit here just like anyways,
I'm blushing so bad because I want to
wow.
learn cartography because of Devin.
Yeah.
You hear me, Devin? You hear
So
me?
anyways, yeah.
You hear me? Okay, good.
Well, yeah, since she's what's your waiting list? Anyway. You wonderful mistress of maps are the person that I would eventually like to do a map of my world for somewhere down the road.
You
but
teach
anyways,
a class?
Did he say down the road?
35 months right now. How do I get on that list? That's right in the target range.
I will have to look for your information on your class, Devin. Wow, I didn't notice this. Thank you.
Oh my god, this is the craziest thing ever. What is happening?
Wow.
Oh my
Something
God.
magical, man.
If it's all right with
It's ready to
you,
go.
Devin, I would love to send you just a message over on Twitter just to find out if I can get on that list and maybe someday down the road have your talents create a map for my setting. I would love that.
Okay, then I need to check out your Patreon
wow.
right away, Devin. Sorry.
Yes,
Sorry,
I
Carl.
will most definitely. Okay, geek moments.
Now we have to calm Charles down.
Right.
No.
For all those people out there that think that I'm like this kind of weird, unshakable, unrattling kind of, I'm the guy behind Forza. No, man, I have so many geeky loves and passions, and that's one of them. Anyways, so let's get this thing back on track. Let's let the wonderful Devin Rue sit out there and watch and maybe pitch in some stuff because I'm sure that she has opinions as well. And we do try to create an environment here at Forge of the Table where people, can be nerds and geeks and maybe put step outside of the mystique that might be around them. But did you see it's Devin Rue right there? Anyways, so the next question, wow. Oh, what was I even going to talk about before I saw that?
Hold on, wait. Before one more thing, I want to say
Yeah.
hello to Damage Dice because I noticed Damage Dice said hello in the chat as we were all freaking out over Devin also being in the chat.
Yep. Hey, how's it going there, Damage? There's somebody that I plan on doing some collab work with, hopefully in the future sometime. Right now, schedule's so insane, but I'm hoping to get it there. For everybody that's out there, one of the things about our community that you need to understand is if you want to get in on some games, it's really, really simple. All you have to do is drop a follow on our channel and get involved over on our Discord. That simple. 4 minutes till the giveaway, so I'm going to stay away from any questions right now until we get that first giveaway out of the way. But that's all it takes. And quite literally, it's a pressure-free environment. The community that has formed around this channel is in the 38 years I've been DMing, it's one of the best communities it is the best community I've ever been involved in. I like to joke around, and it's not really joking, that when people talk about their game groups, I literally tell them I have 308 or 309 people in my game group. That's my gaming group. Wow, okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna put it down in the back.
He's
So
always
it's
read
how
as
theater girl
anavistic.
should
This is great.
Wow.
The whole thing behind this is that we create an inviting, warm, positive environment where people know, Devin, you're not messing it up. This is literally just us sitting and talking shop. That's quite all right. If this was a game, I would pause. The guys last week on a Walk Beyond noticed the pause when you dropped the follow. But I hope my geek fanboying ain't creeping you out too much. But there's nothing I can do about it. I love your work so much. And this goes way. This goes back a ways. But anyways, yeah, the environment we're trying to create here is one of positivity and a place where people can come hang out, share their ideas, their thoughts, ask their questions, and not be judged. And that extends to all the games that we have. We currently have 5 dungeon masters that are currently on board. Bryway here and Weiss Girl there being 2 of them. I've been known to run a game every once in a while on the channel. And then we have Stump-O-Matic, Todd, who is stepping forth on the 19th. He's going to be running a Curse of Strahd campaign every Thursday night. And then a good friend of mine, the person that plays Belton Cobblebolt, the Halfling in Love, is going to be stepping forward in May and running a bi-weekly Storm King's Thunder game for people. So that's kind of what we do. So all you have to do to get involved is either a dungeon master, a games master, or a player, is drop a follow on our channel here and jump on over to our Discord. I gotta quit looking at the chat. Our Discord and get involved. That's the big thing, ladies and gentlemen, is I encourage you to get involved in every aspect of this. If it's just to come over and ask questions, to engage the people that play, to learn a little bit about this weird thing we do called tabletop role playing. If it's we have a map section over there if you want to share map stuff. Don't know why that's in my mind.
Maybe because it's of a certain special someone in the chat.
This community is literally all about building just that, a community. We don't ask you to spend money to play in our games. We just want you to play. Right now we are looking, I believe by the end of May, I might not be right, but I think I am right, we are literally going to have 10 campaigns going on this channel. The only day right now that we do not have a campaign is on Monday, but we're gonna have like 10 campaigns going per month. Of those 10 campaigns, only one of them is a house game. All the other 9 involve players that are followers or subscribers in one way, shape, or form. Now, here is the super cool thing about that as well. There are 3 campaigns by the end of May that are going to be ran on this channel that are 110% followers and subscribers. Not even I am involved. So that is players such as Weiss Girl and Bryway and Stump-O-Matic stepping forward. Those games literally have nothing but followers and subscribers running them and playing them. That's the goal. We want to have literally at some point in the future 16 hours a day of live tabletop role-playing games being played on this channel, and I will make that happen with your guys' help. So get involved, please. One more quick announcement: we do have an opening in a wonderful D&D 5th edition modern game being based in Boston. It is Something Wicked This Way Comes, ran by our very own Bryway there. There's 1 spot left into it. I stepped out because I'm producing so much and doing so much that I want to give somebody else a chance to play. Get involved in this game. It is going to be amazing. This gentleman is the player of Arthur Carree, so if that isn't enough of a boost to get your butt into it, fill that spot, please. Please don't make him think he's unloved. That'd be a shame.
I mean, I would, but I have conflicts called Summer Stage.
Yeah.
The life of a theater major.
We can always look at you for season 2.
Yep.
Oh, please do.
Yep. There are so many things going on this channel too. Let me touch on really quick before we get back to the questions. Actually, hold on. No, we're doing a giveaway. We're doing a giveaway.
Yeah, giveaway.
These wonderful. God, I got told so many cameras pointing at me. These. Well, let's go this way.
Oh my gosh! Oh
Wonderful
my gosh,
dice.
Charles.
They're being what?
Charles, check the chat.
What? What?
Check the Discord channel.
Oh, the Discord channel.
I can't check the Discord channel without killing the screens.
Yeah, just
Yeah, come on.
I can't do it. So, anyways, these dice are
Okay,
being
that's
given
cool.
away right now. We are going to man, don't do this to me. I can't even find where I'm supposed to click.
I'm sorry. Devin just decided to gift me her map making class.
Oh my God! Thank you so very much, Devin. Wow, holy cow! That's what I'm talking
awesome.
about with this community. I'm gonna give away these dice. And no, Devin, you are not. It's wonderful, and I feel honored that you are coming in and hanging out. That you are
I am so
not
sorry.
disrupting.
I am-
This whole night this is what it's about. This whole night is literally about this sort of stuff. It's about building a community. I would have it no other way. So let's see who won these dice. Pat Adams. Pat Adams, you've been a follower since
Congrats.
April 7th. You just won yourself a set of
Congrats.
Chessex dice and some mini dice. If you can do me a favor, please get a hold of me over there on our Discord and send me your shipping address and a shipping name, and we will get these out sometime next week whenever we get around to it, but you will get them. We got some people over there in Utah that are waiting on stuff too, like a whole family of hackers that win everything, it seems like. So we got
hackers.
one more giveaway for tonight. This one is going to be given away in at the end of the stream. This is Chessex number 26451. These are Gemini black gold with silver letters. These are super cool dice. I'm gonna try and get everybody to be able to see them. The camera is not doing them justice, ladies and gentlemen, because I do have a green screen behind me, and that's the way they go. That
God.
and you have got from Metallic Dice Games this super awesome two-tone teal and dark blue. God, they look a lot like they might be those wonderful. I think there's a Doctor Who color in there, but that's what you're gonna get a chance to win.
Artist blue.
Let me go ahead and reset Nightbot. I will give you the word to enter, and then we will move on from this. Let me see. I gotta quit
I
looking over there.
apologize, Charles.
No.
I'm sorry.
No. As a matter of fact, we are going to use the word please only. Enter this one time.
I
And
thought the word was
we will draw these dice, the winner for these dice, at the end of tonight's stream, which is about an hour to an hour and a half, somewhere in that very area. Enter that just one time in the chat to be entered for those wonderful dice.
Nice. That's appropriate.
Good word.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is there you go. So everybody gets a chance to win some wonderful dice. And I'd like to touch on it once again. The reason why we do these giveaways is not to gain followers. We do these giveaways because you guys have gotten behind us and are supporting us, and we're just giving back out to the community like we said we were going to do from the very beginning. I do, since we have the wonderful Devin Rue in here, and it kind of jarred some things in my mind, just so everybody understands. We are in contact with a lot of companies, and I have a tendency of saying, that it's you guys that are making this happen. And in a lot of ways, I understand I'm the person that's created this, but it's you guys from the simple followers out there that just stop in every once in a while to the people that do the tier 2, tier 3 subscriptions and that sort of thing. You guys are the ones that are giving me the ability to go talk to some of these companies and be like, hey, I got followers, we've got viewers, we want to give away your products to our fans and the people that are sitting there watching us. And a lot of these companies are actually opening up the coffers and sending loot our way. I'm going to continue to do this, and we're going to continue to do giveaways, but that's one of the things that you guys are allowing me to do. In short 9 weeks, you guys are allowing me to get out there, contact companies, and get you guys free merch. The one that is definitely on the way, I'm hoping that Pat Adams, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Welcome to the Forge. Can we get some anvils and some bubbles out there in chat, please? The cool thing is that we actually have a confirmed box from the guys at Easy Roller Dice Company. They quite literally they've let us know that there is a crate of goods coming our way. I believe that's going to include some of the really cool dice trays, dice, and a bunch of other things. When we get them in, we are going to do an unboxing, and we're going to give that away. So you guys keep supporting us. We'll keep doing our thing, and we'll keep running games. We'll keep playing games, and we will go ahead and continue with the questions tonight. This has been like a dream night for me right now. So.
Excuse me, Charles. I just need a moment to just step away and just get myself together.
Tracking updated on the easy roller.
Yeah.
It was in Billings at 6:15 this evening.
So we'll have it tomorrow.
We should have it tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just got confirmation from my wife. The tracking updated. Sorry, United States Postal Service. You guys are wonderful people. I hope none of you are watching this and heard what I said earlier. You guys are the most magnificent people in the world. The crate from Easy Roller Dice Company was in Billings, Montana at 6:45 p.m. this day. That means it will be in my hands tomorrow morning. I will not be doing a box opening because I'm going to open it tomorrow, and tomorrow during a walk beyond, in honor of the 5 moderators from D&D Beyond that are playing in that, and to show some bling bling, we're going to give away something out of that box tomorrow during the D&D Beyond a Walk Beyond campaign. We're going to give something away tomorrow night during the Long Road campaign to celebrate the blossoming love between Regina and Belton. And then we are going to give away some more love on Sunday during Adventure Weekly, and then we will continue to give it all away until it's all gone. And once it's all gone, I am going to be getting back in contact with the wonderful folks over at Easy Roller Dice Company and see if we can't secure you guys discount codes on their products. We can get some more stuff for you, and we're going to see where we can take this. Maybe we can turn it into something. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Very good.
That is absolutely wonderful. I thought they lost it, but they didn't. We have been in contact with the wonderful Wolfgang Bauer over there at Kobold Press. We're working on some stuff with those guys. We are working on some stuff from Nord Games. I have emails out to some of the biggest companies out there. Dream big, or why dream at all, is the way I do this. So yeah, let's get some more questions answered. This has been such a killer night. I'm absolutely loving this.
I'm so happy. I might cry. I
don't think might is the right word.
Bring it right out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Now you have to make the maps.
I am so sorry.
Yeah. Now you got to make some maps, man.
I will have to.
Maps. Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah.
That idea for a little bit of an episodic kind of thing. The learn with a new map maker kind of deal that I threw out during one of your DM designs.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Hook that up?
Definitely a possibility. Like I said, right now the schedule is absolutely jam packed. I'm trying not to give up my Mondays off, and I'm trying not to give up my Sunday evenings because that's my World of Warcraft time. So. But we'll try to work some stuff in there. I've got some D&D or DM's designs still on the schedule, so maybe we'll fit something in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I could even, I don't know, maybe I'm overstepping my bounds, but who knows? Maybe we can get Devin Rue on here for one of these RPG roundtables and maybe give an interview and get some insight into the world of campaign cartography and that sort of thing. That would be incredible. But we'll talk about that off stream. So Joe's Pennies today asked the question, as a player, do you enjoy a more story-based or a more combat-based campaign?
Story. Just
yeah.
sorry. End of story.
Ha, I see
I
what you
like-
did there.
Really, we all have you to blame for my sense of
Mr.
humor now.
Player 6, welcome to the chat.
Hello.
So we've obviously got Weiss Girl on storytelling. I'll come in next if people don't mind. As a player, I'm gonna do this from a DM standpoint. Do I enjoy more story based or more combat based? I'm all about the hack and slash. I think story is highly overrated. I don't like narrative. I think if you, as a DM, go more than 20 minutes without a character re-rolling a character, you have failed.
I call bullshit.
Yeah, it's storytelling, obviously.
Bullshit
Storytelling. So next, please.
I personally like a nice mixture. I like a bit of combat, but I also like the opportunity to talk my way out of the situation.
I
Jens
agree with
doesn't.
her.
Jens doesn't.
No.
No. Well, I like both as well. It's basically if you have a mixture, it's kind of good because the players get to show off. And I see that we've been mixed up a bit. So, okay.
No, we're back. We're back. Okay,
I'm sorry.
very good.
I booped a button. I booped a button again.
Stop booping.
Yeah, no more booping. Booping is now a banning offense.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I like a mixture. Basically because the players love to show off what they can do. So if you have a player that is just extremely excited to show off a new ability or a new skill, then combat is a great way to do it. But when you're just storytelling the whole time, it's kind of hard to do that.
Thank you for the follow there, Mr. 6. Mr. Player 6, appreciate the follow. Welcome to our unique and yes, sometimes dysfunctional family.
Hi. Hello.
Lives matter.
I guess it's my turn, I think. I love storytelling. If you guys can't really tell right now, especially with how animated I am a very storytelling based person. I've been in the theater my whole life. I've been telling stories my whole entire life. And that's the one thing that I love about being a player and a GM is the story. If you pull me in with a good story, you've got me hooked for life, my friend. You got me hooked for life.
We can tell.
A little bit.
I mean, I just talked to the wonderful Devin Rue about learning to make maps for D&D and campaigns and whatnot, and oh my god.
There's, I think it's from Harry Potter, but we're all stories in the end. Just make it a good one.
Yep.
Oh, no, that's
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who, not Harry
That's
Potter.
Doctor Who.
Okay. But
Get it right, girl.
How dare you.
I'm highly
Better
offended.
than this.
we like killing things, and so D&D gives you the chance to tell a story that involves killing things. So, porque no las
Yeah, killing things is kind of fun in D&D.
Yeah, I would say, 3 parts story, 1 part combat. If I go a whole session without anybody, without having to take out a battle map, I'm fine with that. To me, it's all about smaller stories within larger stories. I love having a large narrative arc where, maybe it's 5-6 episodes in before the players even realize what's really going on, but they've still managed to tell a couple of smaller stories along the way. And that to me is the beauty of collaborative storytelling, because you can have that larger narrative arc, but you can have it just general and sketched out in mind, and you can wait to see where your players want to take it, and then it becomes their story as well. And then you say, oh, well, I kind of had the narrative arc going over here, but they're pulling it this way. I'll change the larger story to fit them. And after you've been doing it for a number of years, and Charles will attest to this, you don't write very much out at all. You just rely on your improvisational skills, and when you're doing it well, as far as they know, you are just prepared for everything. And they'll say, did you know I was going to do that? And you go, of course I knew you were going to do that. I mean, it was obvious. And you're like, then I call Maya on the drive home from the game session and go, I can't believe I got them to think that I did this on purpose. No better feeling.
Yeah.
little story before I let the next person go is back in the day when I first met my wife. We actually met through gaming 20 some years ago. And the group that I had at that time was a bunch of players that came from a very hack and slash combat driven game. So they had never really experienced what you could fully do with a tabletop RPG game. One of my oldest friends, who unfortunately we're no longer friends, he showed up from Minnesota one day, and it was one of our game nights, and I basically pulled him into the kitchen, and I was like, "So what do you think about playing Neutral Evil tonight?" And his eyes kind of sparkled. He's like, "Yeah, we can do that. We can do that." And I had basically told him, I go ahead and do what it is that you do. I trust you fully. I understand your play style. And me and him mesh in such a way that it's unbelievable. So the next 5 hours went on, and the players that were the victims of this night's adventure were so livid and pissed off at me that they were threatening to quit. And we went out on the front stoop, and we began to go over all the red flags that they had missed. And as we went down the list of 30 some different points in the story that they missed, they began to get a different shade and started laughing. And the greatest thing is that through the story of the game, you can pull people in so deep that they forget really who the hell they are and get so wrapped up in it. So next.
No, I've always been a big even mix kind of a guy, but even with the combat, with those dice rolls, you're still telling a story. So yeah, D&D's always been about the story, and those dice rolls, those combat encounters are just, the seasoning to that story. It's great.
Who hasn't answered? Subs.
Sorry, I was distracted. What's the question?
Combat or story?
I thought I answered that. I said a mixture of both,
Crud, was I reading Weiss's point wrong?
Okay, yeah, see.
See, this is why we don't throw me in front of a mirror.
Oh, I don't think we're actually going to get through all of these. Well, we might get through quite a few of them. So let's go with this one. This one is from that young man, Subsist Cyber. Don't know if anybody out there knows this guy. Probably not.
No.
I don't know. Is he
We
the
should
guy
just-
like
Just
right?
pass that question over. Just next.
Not a question.
Oh,
no.
shit.
Speak in your best accent. Did you honestly think you were going to put that up there, Subs, and it wasn't going to get brought forward?
We'll let somebody else go
We were
first.
even discussing this.
No,
feel
I
like
think
Subs
subs
has to
should go first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
so I have
subs?
to go first. He put that there. He has to go first.
That's right.
His question.
Okay, well, one of the things that I kind of repeat myself over and over and over again is from a show or a movie called Snatch. I don't know if any of you have heard of that.
Oh yeah, Brad Pitt.
Yeah. So, what the fuck am I going to do with a caravan with no wheels? It's an Irish accent. So I practiced that over and over and over again. And I think I can do an okay Irish accent. But really, I'm pretty bad at it. So my Irish accent is probably my best one. And I'm not going to speak it for you unless you watch A Walk Beyond.
All right. And that is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and various times in between and beyond. That is tomorrow.
Wow, we're actually letting him get away with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
a plug,
next person.
so-
Next person.
Yeah, I suppose it's a plug. That's fair. That's fair.
Well, this might be a little bit of a cop out, but my very light British is kind of okay. Yeah, that's my best accent. Is just a very light British.
Is that calling?
Yeah, basically, it's my go-to accent.
You-
Gathered from very many hours watching The Great British Bake Off, which is my favorite show ever. My best accent.
And I still remember when you fooled a bunch of friends. Well, not fooled, but when a bunch of friends on that cruise ship, when you were in the kids club, you were all trying to do each other's accents from different
Oh my
countries.
gosh.
And
The British
yours-
people's American accent was my favorite thing because their go-to phrase was "Let's get a hamburger from McDonald's." That was like they're like, what's a quintessentially American phrase, and that was their go-to.
that was their go-to.
And I'm sure mine was equally as effective.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go next.
Do it.
So, if you guys don't know, I grew up with some Canadian in my blood. I have listened to my Canadian relatives more than once. And I think I can do a pretty decent... Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little bit over the moon over here, eh?
So I've been told by multiple people that Valley Girl is apparently an accent, and oh my god, that boy's scalp right off the back of his head. Did you guys see it?
Yes, King.
Oh my god.
Conklin! I see you in the Twitch chat, sub. I see you
Someone
in the
else.
Twitch chat.
I'm trying to decide what, because accents is a thing that I love to do.
You all of them.
I do like a lot of accents, and I've gotten into trouble before because if I'm around an accent too much, I accidentally slip into it, and I've had to assure British friends that no, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just so used to being around you for the last couple of weeks that I just started to talk like you, and I didn't do it on purpose. Please do not take offense. Unfortunately, they don't, because you just go out and drink with them and everything's fine.
And then you call them out for not speaking the right accent, or
No. But then when they get drunk, it gets much easier.
yeah, true.
I mean, I can do a bit of German for you if you like, and then in German you get very angry, and then you come down again. That's how Germans are. And I found that if it's an accent, it is best if you pick a small phrase to get you into it until you get good at the accent. And this was taught to me by one of my improv teachers. And for Irish, for the longest time, I always, before I went on stage, if I had to do Irish, I would just kind of mutter to myself backstage, "Oh, they're always after me, Lucky Charms." And that would get me into my Irish, and then I could say anything in an Irish accent.
There it is.
So,
There's me too. That's that same phrase. They're after me, Lucky Charms.
Oh, they're after me, Lucky Charms.
Sorry,
Dang
if
it,
you-
I failed so bad.
No, it's all right. You keep working at it, and eventually you will get the right way to say the Lucky Charms words.
Yeah, man, you must understand what this man be talking about.
Oh,
Uh,
a little Jamaican.
But
there,
honestly,
right?
it's a little bit Jamaican.
if I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about accents and all that sort of thing, I'm gonna go off over here on Toady Toyd and Toyd Street, in a Toyd building over on the left on the Toady Toyd floor. You know, the one with the Boyd Toyds on the windowsill. That's where I'm at. You know, that's probably my favorite one. And that was a mixture of growing up on Jimmy Cagney movies and that sort of thing. You dirty rat.
There
That
you
sort of
go.
thing, so.
right.
Yeah, that one definitely got me when you pulled out that accent for those stupid rats. That got me.
That was fantastic. I loved
What you
that.
talking about, huh? You know you're in the wrong there, Toidle. We're not gonna let you walk out of here just scot free. You and your friends are gonna go down. You think this big fishy looking guy is gonna, anyways.
And that's when I turned him into paste.
Yes. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this guy's got a really good rendition of Hammer Time. Sorry.
Yeah, for those of you who do not know, you should watch The Adventures of Bubbles every other Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. See more amazing content with many
Terrible Valley Girl.
fun. Terrible Valley Girl.
So who hasn't done their accent yet? I think we have
Atavistic.
Atastatistic.
No, my all-time favorite accent is a Tibetan monk who's taken a vow of silence.
I love that. That's perfect. I'm gonna use that.
Oh, hold on.
Bad.
I'm having a vision. What's that? Rostabon gonna die? What? A cauldron? A cauldron? And a turtle? No, a toidle? Oh, okay. No, oh, sorry. I got distracted there.
This sounds legit.
What do you want from me?
Yeah, I do. Like my accents. It's really weird because that's the last thing I usually come up with, like on an NPC or something like that. I'll have everything about the NPC done and solid in my head, and as far as look and mannerisms and all that sort of stuff. And then usually it's at the table. It'll be that they've walked in and I need a voice, and I just boom, out comes one. And it seems like in Stormhaven, a lot of them seem to be from the Bronx or Brooklyn, or get in the car. We're gonna go down to the bar, you know. Yeah, so.
It's funny how close Brooklyn and Boston are together. For as much as they hate each other, they sound very similar. It's like a slightly softer, more elongated vowel, and that's about it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually getting that from hearing that talk. I'm like, ew.
And like I said,
fellow Americans.
And like I said earlier, with the accents, one of the things I do to kind of gauge whether or not I want to use an accent, my wife hears me in the shower, she hears me in the bathroom, my cats look at me like I'm nuts when I'm walking through the house with these weird voices. Is I literally think in my head, if the person that I'm trying to do the accent of was in front of me, like if they're from Ireland or Scotland or Brooklyn or Jamaica, would they be offended by what I am doing? And if it's a resounding yes in my head, then I know I've hit it. Because as a DM, it's like I do a lot of serious kind of creepy kind of things in my games. And the accents is one of the ways I can inject a little bit of humor without losing the tension that I want. And it allows me through the voice and stuff like that to be able to build different layers over the top of things. But I'm not going to go off on that again because, well, it takes too much time. So, okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. This is from a Vice Girl. Is it the Vice Girl that I'm looking at right there? Is it Vice Girl? Is it Demaya? What? No. How dice superstitious are you? And what are your dice rituals?
Okay, so I'm not 100% dice superstitious yet because, well, I'm still new to D&D. I mean, I started in January. I bought like my first set of dice mid-January. But eventually I might be making a dice jail because this one set, this 120 of my beloved first D20 has been giving me some nat ones lately.
Popsicle sticks. That's all you need.
Yep.
Anoka28, thank you for the follow and welcome to our unique and sometimes dysfunctional family. Appreciate the follow. That's what we need to keep this train rolling, and hopefully I don't insult them. But I thank you very much for your subscription or your follow. So anyway,
wow, Charles.
I will be checking for the mail bomb next week.
Very good. The FCC called. They'd like to have a word with you.
2 out of 4 sheets. 2 out of 4 sheets.
Twitch called. They wanna have a little chat.
Yeah. Is that personal harm? So yeah. Anyways, how dice superstitious are you, and what are your dice rituals? I am not superstitious whatsoever. Everybody is more than welcome to touch my dice. It just shows me that when a player reaches over and touches my dice, that they don't value their fingers or their hands or their characters. And for me, that's a very, very important bit of DM information that I need. No, actually, my whole thing is don't touch my dice. I have literally taken very expensive dice and a player has touched them and I have thrown them away. I'm not a materialistic person. So dice are I'll toss them. I'm not. Oh, bring him here. Bring him here. Come here, buddies. Come here, buddies.
Geeky.
Oh.
What you doing? Do you want to snuzzle? Everybody, this is the true dungeon master of the house.
I figured.
Yeah, this is my cat. This is Zoom. This is my bestest buddy, huh? He's my bestest
I
buddy.
love
Kisses?
Zoo.
Can I get kisses? And he gives me kisses and stuff and all that sort of thing.
He's so sweet.
Yeah,
Okay, I
this is
feel
my
like we're getting derailed again.
buddy. Yeah.
Well,
we're getting-
No. It's perfect.
Okay, cat is a distraction. I would show you guys my fish because I'm sitting right next to my fish tank,
Oh,
but my
fish.
fish is dead.
Oh
Oh,
my
God.
god.
I'm
That's
glad I
that's
took a
the
drink.
best kind of fish. That's the best kind of fish because it's really bad when they're still alive and you try to cook them because they flop around in the pan. So it's better if they're dead.
That reminds me that I have to check to see
Charles.
whether or not my fish is still alive because I was in Canada for the week, and so you know,
If it's a beta, they're pretty hardy. Just make sure you feed
You
it
can
well.
try.
Rain Keys is making our new maps, guys.
Oh, okay.
Want to see the microphone?
Okay.
You don't care?
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
This is my dice trail.
No. Here, you. Let me finish.
Please show the dice jail.
Can you hold it close up so that they can see the inscription?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wait. Yeah. Can you read it, or is it backwards?
I can see it.
It's good, yeah.
It says "Be better." It's words of
Yeah.
encouragement for my dice.
Handmade.
Yeah, I'm super duper dice superstitious. I have a lot of dice. I love dice so much. But yeah, no, I put them in jail if they roll badly. And I'm very pleased to announce that 2 of them are actually after Wednesday's game, when I think I rolled a total of 5 times, and 4 of my dice ended up in jail. 2 of them are actually out of jail. They have decided to be better now.
They're on parole.
Oh.
They're on
Dice
parole.
parole.
How do you determine that?
We'll fix
I
that.
re-roll
She rolls a
them
d20.
every once in a while, and if they roll over a 10, I'll let them out of jail.
That's nice of you.
Very generous.
Surprisingly, given who my daughter is, I'm not dice superstitious. I'm just used to being the only one with dice because they didn't used to be quite as easy to come by, and so if people needed to roll dice, it was like, all right. I still have some of my original dice.
I have one of your original dice.
You probably do. They don't roll well anymore because the corners are all rounded off of them and they're chipped and cracked. But I can't
bet.
throw them out because they're my original dice. That's
Yes.
probably the closest. That's not actually one of the originals, but that is one of the older ones where
If you had to put crayon.
you
To
had to mark them with crayon and then rub the crayon off so that they didn't come pre-inked.
Yep.
Yes, I realize that makes me an old guy, but I have embraced it. If you couldn't tell by the white and the wizard beard and the bald head, I've just given it away with the dice thing. But
You're bald? Oh, okay. I couldn't tell. There's so much glare. I just saw white.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Okay.
You get a green
Brian,
screen, it's just gonna blend in.
Brian,
My
I'm
head's
really
not green.
serious.
That
You
doesn't
look
make
like
any
my
sense.
dad.
It's
You look like
complicated.
my dad.
So who else we got left to go on this one?
Who else has dice superstitions? I can't be the only one.
I am super superstitious about my dice. Only it's not so much letting other people touch my dice, it's don't let me touch your dice, because I'm basically the female Will Wheaton.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's bad.
True.
No, it's bad.
True.
Oh, wow.
So I have loose dice in this one, but my special dice go in this one, and all of my sets are segregated just in case.
Oh,
I
my.
separate my
I'm not even kidding.
sides. I have rolls that block back. These are my D8s.
I'm not even kidding. My rolls, you can ask subs, you can ask Wise Girl, and my rolls are just bad.
They're bad.
Oh, gens are pretty bad.
You have
Jens and I are pretty on par for how bad we roll.
So we
I'm
know
sorry
we
to
know
call
which two
gens
characters
out.
are going to call the we know which two characters are going to cause the TPK on Wednesdays.
That's the problem. Like, is it going to be Jens or is it going to be me?
I'm
DC
sorry to
fell.
call Jen's out, but she rolled so bad when she was fighting that troll. But when it was her turn to fight against me and Hashar, good. No.
So Atavistic, did you go?
Not yet. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. Kind of the same boat as you, Charles. Don't really like sharing my dice. They're mine. They're all mine.
Yep, definitely.
Yours will become mine, but they're mine.
And how about subs? I don't remember hearing subs.
For me, I use the same dice that I've used all the way since the Middle East, over and over and over and over and over again. It's just, they're sentimental. I want to keep using them, so I just keep going.
But what if they roll bad?
Doesn't matter. It's all just luck.
No.
It's true. There's no dice jail. It doesn't really exist.
Tell that to my friends who actually have sage in their dice jail to help rehabilitate.
No, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that's
that's dice
wrong.
rehab. That's dice rehab. That's for the white collar dice. They
Oh,
get to go to dice rehab. It's the dark dice that go to jail.
One of the things I learned very on that is really good for correcting bad dice behavior is if you have one particular dice in the night of the bunch that has continued to roll poorly, what you do is you take the other 15 or 16 of them, you put that one dice on a plate inside of a microwave, and you line the other ones up so they can see what happens. Put it on 30 seconds and hit go. And I will guarantee you that even if the other dice roll poorly, they will understand what their fate's going to be. I also have about 3,000 dice, so I can burn them. So let's go off to, this is a good question again from that individual known as CyberSys Sub. What indie / Kickstarted systems have you played, and what is your opinion of them? I'm gonna go first. Hey, he's gone.
Okay.
He doesn't want. He doesn't really
bathroom.
care about what you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, well, so since he's gone right now, tomorrow, Larathan is going to meet a horrible death as the little girl is going to come up off of the bed. Her head's going to spin around. You will hear the popping of the bones inside. Spittles of green pea-like substance will drool out of her mouth as she floats aimlessly in the middle of the room. She's going to reach out her right hand and remove Larathan's face with this dark tendril-like magical energy, pulling it slowly off so that everybody's around can hear the sickening sucking sound, this sound as Larathan's face comes sliding off.
I'm up for this.
So what indie Kickstarted systems have you played, and what is your opinion of them? I'm going to go first really quick. This was very much an independent release way back in the day, roughly 15 years ago. I'm kind of biased on this one because this is a game from... He's not a friend, he's a brother now at this point. The Fates try to literally kill us. I'm sure my wife will be more than happy to tell the story inside of chat, but it has been documented. The Fates have tried to kill us whenever we're together. We do not travel together, by the way. That's a bad thing. There's a story. I'll tell that someday. But the game itself is Cold Steel Rain. This is a post-apocalyptic Western where the world has been locked into a time frame or time stoppage right at the height of the Civil War. So the Indian territories are still in existence and in power and all that. And this game has a character class or a character occupation in it called a gunslinger. And this game literally just about got him sued. He literally had Stephen King's lawyers breathing down his neck because while it wasn't the gunslinger from the books, it was amazingly close. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a game designer go so close to the line and somehow legally not cross it. What do I think about this game, Cold Steel Rain? I want to run it sometime down the road. I know that there's at least one or two boxes, I hope, of these books still left out there, so I'm gonna try and get my hands on them and send them out to the people that I suck into this game. It will not be a campaign. It's gonna be a one-shot. This is probably the deadliest system I've ever ran. It is incredibly deadly, but it's got a heavy Old West. The thing I love about it is this came out at about the time where the D20 open game license of about 10-15 years ago was just beginning to fail. You could go to major conventions and you would literally see 6-foot table upon 6-foot table stacked 7 feet up, where people were selling D20 based books that were going for 5 or 6 of them for $20. And we're talking 300-400 page full-blown full-color hardbounds that people just were dumping. So this game stormed. We showed up unannounced at Origins. We were put on the ballot for best new game at Origins, which, if anybody understands Origins game convention, that's a huge honor. But the thing I love about the game is this was at a time where everything was super simplified on the D20 system. This is old school Palladium Rollmaster crunchy. This game is so heavy, so crunchy, that it is absolutely beautiful. And if people would at some point in the future like to experience a little Cold Steel Rain, then we'll see what we can do. And I will happily run it. It is think Deadlands. If anybody else is familiar with Deadlands, with the zombies and all that.
I've heard Deadlands.
Think Deadlands, but exceedingly more dark. This is the game that also at Origins I was running it, and there was this big giant oversized zombie creature that I had coming out of this old tavern or this old saloon in this ghost town. And I was playing it to the nth level and literally had strings of slobber coming out of my mouth. And one of the strings of slobber hit the poor DM at the table next to us.
Oh god.
Which would have been bad, but his players were already focused on what we were doing, that they weren't paying attention to his game. But yeah, I'll run that. That's my indie game.
That would be fun.
That's my game. It's a blast. It is so not politically correct as well. It is got all the lingo. You get to play, Native Americans and all that sort of thing. So that's mine. So next up.
Cool. Well, I haven't backed any Kickstarter games yet, so I feel like I'm a little exempt from this question. But I've recently been watching my Twitter, and there's this wonderful thing that I'm going to have to double check, but I think it's called Lasers and Liches, and they just started their Kickstarter. Yeah, the Twitter is Lasers and Liches, and they just started their Kickstarter like yesterday.
Lasers and Liches.
Yes,
Wow.
Tales from the Retroverse. It's for D&D 5e. And I'm looking at their pinned tweet right now on my Twitter, and it says, "You've been following us to this run up to the starting line. Now help us to run as fast as we can. Thank you so much for your support. The hashtag Retroverse, hashtag Kickstarter is here. Let's make a world of endless synth and neon."
I'm now extremely curious.
You're gonna have to check them out. They just randomly followed me on Twitter, and I was like, okay, I'm following back.
I will have to look into that.
Yeah, I'm planning on scrounging up maybe at least $10 to give them.
That's something we're going to be doing in the future, is kickstarting.
There you go.
In terms of RPGs, I have not kicked any. I did try to kickstart a card game that the company that it was based on this webcomic that I enjoy, and the company that was supposed to be building and designing the game literally took the money and went to the Caribbean. And the owner of the intellectual property has been fighting legal battles and stuff, and so he hasn't managed to get it released yet, but he keeps sending updates of how he's trying to at least send a PDF printable version. I guess the closest I could come was an RPG system that a buddy made in college that was a superhero themed, that the short name for it was called Towel Heads. since we're on the politically incorrect vein. And the idea is you were a superhero strike team sent into the Middle East to fight terrorist groups. And the longer name, yeah. And this was before 9/11 and all the stuff like that, because a lot longer ago than that. So it was some dark, messed up stuff, but we were, drunk college idiots, and so that's what drunk college idiots do.
Yeah. Next.
So I've never backed a Kickstarter or anything like that. But speaking of, making up your own stuff, last summer I made up a system. I said, you know what Dungeons and Dragons doesn't have enough dragons. So I made up a system that I lovingly called Dragons and Dragons, where people play dragons and can fight adventuring parties. And
Where's the dungeons?
They're not. It's just dragons. That's it. Just dragons. That's the title.
There was a TSR product. Oh God, when was that? God, it must have been 25 years ago or so. It was way back in the day where everybody was playing. I can't remember the damn name of it, but it was a similar concept.
But yeah, so made that last summer and we played a few times. We had fun. So that's
we tested the hell out of that.
It was fun.
Hey Maya,
Yeah.
you should make it a one shot.
I might. I have to revisit it because I can't remember. It was pretty broken.
My favorite moment, my favorite moment from it was when she had to make an adventuring party to come invade our lair, and so she used her in real life party, which her boyfriend was in, and the red dragon picked her boyfriend up, dropped him in a cauldron of lava, and stood on him.
And all of the cleric spells, like I didn't realize this until I was, trying to beat these guys.
Extricate him from the lava?
Yeah, every single cleric spell has a verbal component, at least the ones that I picked out.
Which you can't cast when you're face down in lava.
No, you cannot.
Really quickly out there in chat, which system has got the exploding dice system in it? I love exploding dice.
Open Legend
Yeah.
RPG.
Okay. Yeah. Exploding dice. Yeah. Oh God, shut up about Shadowrun.
Shadowrun.
Such a beautiful system, or not system, but setting. God Almighty, not even I own that many. But yeah, who did we miss here?
I don't have any. I have not kickstarted anything. I don't really know if I've played anything, so I don't have any good answer for that.
Well, see, now I know I'm gonna like Open Legend because if it's exploding, I love that style of system. So
Exploding dice.
Yeah, basically it's where one dice you roll a certain number, it leads into re-rolling more dice to go on, and it can progressively go on, very much like
I've seen that before.
So
like
yeah.
Yeah, I was getting like old Iron Crown Enterprises, like Middle Earth Roll.
Yeah, exactly. ICE, yeah, exactly. So this next person's been, a follower of us since the very beginning. I believe Swarmzy was actually here before Subsys Cyber and Source and them were here, which is going back in time. Source, if people didn't understand, Subsys Cyber uses a lot of natural hair dye products to hide the gray hair because he's been here for a long time, at least 7 weeks. So this one comes from Swarmzy80. If you could bring back one system, which one and why? Can I go first?
Go first.
Go for it.
You're the one manning the stream.
Without a doubt, Twilight 2000. If anybody out there is familiar with Twilight 2000, it came from one of the greatest companies in the 80s, and that is FOSSA. My God, that game system, I wish it would come back because it was post-apocalyptic after World War III military game, and it was so bloody, brutal, and deadly, and was such an amazingly fun game to play. I love that game so much. And that's another game, if you happen to have a copy of it, box set or otherwise, laying around and you don't feel like you need it anymore, you can go ahead and get a hold of me on our Discord and be generous and send it to me. Thank you. Anyways, next.
Okay, so I'm still relatively new to tabletop games, so I think I'm gonna have to pass on this question because I haven't been anywhere near enough other than D&D to know what I'd be answering to.
See, I'm kind of in the same boat. I, for the longest time, only played D&D. I lived in a section of the country where I didn't even know that there were other game systems out there, so it's only been recently that I've started branching out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anybody
I'm
else?
in that same boat as well. D&D 5e has been the one that I've been running and playing for the longest time, and recently got into the Rift system. It's not my cup of tea. Love the setting, don't like the system.
Had a lot of fun playing Traveler back in the day, where it had individual books for different character classes. So you had all of the rules for a specific character class in its own small book, and it's one of the most fun but lengthy character creation systems that I've ever seen. You play someone that's been in the space military for a certain amount of time, depending on your character class, and then when you muster out, you get a certain number of rolls, which can be rolls on other tables and on other. And it's just ridiculous, but you could spend a whole evening creating a character and just having a really good time. And then the other one would be one of the early TSR RPGs once D&D started taking off, which was Gamma World. Not the rebooted Gamma World, which used basically 4E rules, but the one where things were broken and OP and ridiculous, and you could do all kinds of dumb things. I would play that again in a heartbeat.
For me, I guess it would have to be a game that I mentioned on the Discord called Mekton Zeta. It's a very unknown system that uses anime as an inspiration, but it's not the newest anime. It's like the old anime that nobody really remembers. It's very much a system that's meant to make you look really badass while at the same time creating a story that doesn't make sense. It was a very fun game.
Mecha anime, huh? Cool. Oh, that's our Talsorian stuff. Ooh, AFK2P just subscribed. Wee. I thought you just already subscribed, my friend. What's going on here?
Oh,
Tier
they
1
subscribed for 2
months.
months in a row.
2 months.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we just got that the other day, though. Is Twitch having problems? But hey, AFK, thank you. Appreciate that. Another one of those people that have been here since the beginning. So who has not gone yet?
I think that was everybody.
I think we all got this
So
one.
everybody right there.
So did you see the news there that Mekton Zeta is back?
No.
Our Talsorian games as of February 20th, 2018. Giant robot anime fans just wanted you to know that Mekton Zeta is once again available in Dead Tree form. Print on demand.
Cool.
Huh?
See,
All right.
you mentioned
there
the
you go.
game. I will go find it. So we are going to bookmark this, and I'll go take a look at it because that sounds like an absolute blast. There is one other game that was out there back in the day in the 80s that I would love to see remade just because it was so absolutely off the wall and bonkers and so much fun, and that was Toon. Toon.
Oh, yes.
That game was
That
such
was
a
a great
blast.
game.
Yeah, definitely. One of my favorite games of all time. So let me see here. Let's go ahead and do. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna finish this up because when we needed Dungeon Masters, this young lady stepped forward. So we're gonna do 2 of her questions to finish up, and then we're gonna talk about. Yeah, go ahead. Fire, Rainy.
Don't forget the giveaway.
Oh yeah, no, I ain't forgetting the giveaway. And I'm also would like everybody, if you guys would stick around, tonight we are going to do a raid and share some of the viewer love tonight. It's another thing we do here as much as we can at Forge. We try to find other channels, and yes, this time it's not going to be Bubbernot. We're going to find some other channels, and we're going to go out and share the love. So the first question is what are your top 3 favorite Marvel films?
The background on this question is I'm super excited about Infinity Wars, and my boyfriend and I have been binge watching all of the movies, like one every few nights, and so we just finished watching Ultron. That's where we are in our marathon.
Okay, may I go
Okay.
first?
Yeah.
Wait. I want to know, what is the name of that Ultron movie?
Age of Ultron.
Thank you, Jack Walk. Thank you so much for the 500 bits. We aren't going to be stopping right now. We got a little bit longer to go, but we're going to wrap up the questions and we're going to do some talking. But thank you for those 500 bits. We will put those to good use. That is a second and third natural D20 that the DM gets for tomorrow's A Walk Beyond campaign.
Nope. What
gives you the idea that this is a democracy? This is a dictatorship. You do not tell me how things go. You know? You don't know. No.
Oh my goodness.
AFK.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you for the holy shit. Thank you for the 10,000 bits.
Wow.
You got it, my friend. I got your email. Let me, if you'd be so kind, let me get through this weekend. And we will set up a time this coming week where we can get together and we will indeed talk about what we talked about via email. Thank you so much, AFK 2P. This is another person that's been here for a long time, and he's going to be doing an NPC. For those folks out there now, two things have just happened. Please understand that we have a new boss in the channel, AFK 2P there. Also, keep in mind that you can as well. There is numerous ways you can get involved with this channel. If you want to donate, you want to give funds to help things keep going, you can create NPCs, you can create locations, you can give bonuses to the players. Why would you want to? 10,000, that's another 150 natural 20s for the DM tomorrow. You can give bonuses to the DM. All the ways that you can get involved on this channel monetarily, which is not required, are listed down below. We do take 50 to 60% of the money that is given to us, and we turn it back into the channel. So right there's a brand new hardbound game book that will either wind up in the channel's library, or very possibly, since I'm kicking something off here in the next couple months, it very well may go for buying for lucky players some PDF investigator handbooks from Chaosium. So
Okay. I also would like to point out that we are really close to filling up that nice little sword that's laying on the table right there. So thank you for those who are
thanks a lot,
donating
AFK. Super appreciate it, my friend. Wow, that was, I know we had talked about it, but I wasn't quite expecting it. Where were we?
Marvel
Top
movie.
3 Marvel movies I was gonna go.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so my top 3 Marvel movies are, in no short order, Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and Avengers Age of Ultron.
That's a good list.
It's a good list.
So I'd have to go with original Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, and let's go with the first Avengers.
All right.
I'd have to go with the original Batman, Wonder Woman, and League of Legends. or League. I would.
That's not even a movie, man.
I would have to say that I will go with. Oh, let me see. Marvel movies. Dear God.
So many of them.
I would say Civil War. The first Avengers, and blah 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 blah. That's a tough damn question. Yeah, the blah 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 movie, Avengers, Captain America: Civil War, and let's see, I don't know. I'm not. I don't watch a whole lot of movies, so Batman.
No.
That's Marvel, right?
Sounds good.
Batman?
Yeah,
No.
it's good.
So next, please. You can see the
I'm gonna have to go with Deadpool as number 1.
Yeah.
Deadpool
Yeah,
time,
That's a good one.
I'm torn
Yeah.
between Civil War and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, but rounding it out the top is Spider-Man
I haven't seen any of the recent Marvel movies. The last one I saw was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh, they were good. They were good.
Yeah, I know. I really want to see them. I actually have an adventuring crew, and we're gonna be doing we're gonna go see Deadpool 2 when it launches here where I go to college.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to pick Deadpool, but I feel like the spirit of the question was the
Yeah, it was more towards that.
See, that's what I was thinking too. That's why I didn't pick
Deadpool is an
Deadpool.
absolutely amazing, brilliant movie, and you would be right up there.
Right.
It's still tough to narrow to 3 for me, but it would have to be Guardians Volume 1, Thor Ragnarok, and just coming in, edging out the others out at 3rd is Winter Soldier, because I thought that was just a good suspense espionage movie. Even if you didn't care about any of the superhero stuff, it focused on all of the intrigue and the plot lines and the machinations of the Hydra organization, and I thought that.
Well, I guess it's my turn. I'm going to go ahead and say I love comedy and I love origin stories. I'm going to start with Black Panther, even though it's not a comedy. It's an amazing movie. What's the laugh for?
I love comedy. I love origin stories. So I'm going to go with Black Panther.
Well, it is kind of an origin story for Black Panther, but it's not a comedy.
Really hoping you're going to say Pink Panther.
No.
Oh, come on.
There's Ant-Man. I enjoyed Ant-Man, even though nobody said that. I really loved it. It was a very fun film. And the last one I'm going to say is Guardians of the Galaxy.
See, the problem is there's so many good ones out there
There's
that
so
it's
many good
hard
ones.
to remember every single one of them.
I mean, Batman. I mean, it was just
Shut up.
Justice League. Justice
Questions,
League.
Which DC movies?
League of Legends.
Yeah, Batman with Adam West was some good Batman. Right?
I'm Adam West. Quickly, Robin, hurry the
Wait,
bat shark repellent.
Who was that?
It's Adam West, 1960s Batman. It was a terrible Adam West. Terrible one.
All right. If everybody can give me a quick second, I got some crackling going on, so I'm going to restart the old voice meter. So we're going to go silent for like 2 seconds. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to hold up here. What in the hell? Shauna. Kiari, I can make fun of her because I'm friends with her in real life. I had to put up with her crap for far too long. Thank you, sweetie, for the 2,500 bits. My God, the DM's getting the love. By the way, there is an unspoken rule here on Forge at the Table. If you donate bits and you do not delineate what they are for, the DM gets to take those bits and slaughter characters at will.
Please never ever do that. Please always give it to the players.
So let me go ahead and
can't hold
restart
them.
this really quick, and we'll get right back into this.
I'm back. Sorry, Nee was giving me trouble.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
And we're going to have all kinds of funny stuff going on here right now.
I think she was about to say that Black Panther is the best.
Okay, cameras are going to be a little bit wonky for a second while I fix this. Man, I thought I had this down, so this is going to be the last night of me using Banana.
Yeah, okay, amateur hour.
I do like Black.
I am wise, girl.
Wow,
It's good
yeah,
to see you.
I'm getting like nothing but crackle here. This is crazy. Is anybody else hearing crackling?
No.
No, I'm not.
Not on our end.
All right, cool. That's all right. I'm still having sound card issues, so. What we got
So
here?
my,
Jack for 1,500. Thank you to Overfill the Sword.
Yes.
Thank you
Jack
so
Walk,
much, my
wow.
friend.
Thank
I will put
you.
that to good use. Jeannie, if you're still out there watching, can you send that young man that's out there with you back here, please? I would like to introduce him to everybody really quick while we have everybody captive in the audience land. Holy cow almighty. So did everybody get through the Marvel stuff? Batman, Wonder Woman, Justice League.
And Mystery Men. Don't forget Mystery
Yeah,
Men.
Mystery Man.
Oh yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
The Blue Roger.
I'm gonna have this gentleman. Hopefully you can see him. This here is Danny Youngs. He's going to be jumping into the long road tomorrow night. This is one of my oldest current friends.
Hi.
We've gamed together several times in the past. We used to be in the same band. Really great guy. So you guys are gonna get a chance to meet him. But I just wanted to introduce him tonight early. So this is a good guy here. You guys get a chance to see him tomorrow night. Get the hell out of my studio.
I feel sorry for you.
Bye. He's Pyro Druid in chat, right?
No, he is not. He is D Youngs 82 in chat. He is a Denver Bronco fan, so feel free to razz him over that. yeah. So,
as bad as a cowboy.
so as long as nobody else out there is hearing the crackling, it's probably just on my end. I'm obviously having issues with some sound stuff, so that's what I get.
Okay, you know what?
Oddly
enough.
My hubby says there's a little bit, but it's not bad.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be wrapping this up here in roughly about 15 minutes. So did everybody get that answer in?
I think
so, yeah.
All right. So one last question before we finish up the night. What is your favorite gaming snack?
Okay, I wanted to answer first on this one because you guys are actually looking at this. Hold on, let me unplug myself so I can bring it over.
It's getting serious right now.
Oh man.
Everyone was
ready.
asking like super serious questions in the chat, and I was like, I'm gonna go just
This stuff right here,
What is that?
this is a party Chex Mix my
Oh
parents
my
made
god.
over Christmas. I only get this stuff during Christmas. Also, I like the little Halloween
What is
cheese
that
balls.
in?
It's in the little Halloween cheese balls back. Good.
Thought it was cheese balls there for a second, honestly.
So this is made with like Chex Mix, pretzels, the cheese balls, and my parents had to make me a special batch because one of, I'm the youngest of 4, so I kind of have to fight for snacks. So they made me my own batch because they didn't make enough to send home the first time around.
It's the ultimate survival.
It is.
Yeah, I'm
So
messing with audio.
When we did D&D in our old apartment, I'd make a big batch of queso and baked cookies. And that's what we would eat. Yes, subs, cheese. a big batch of queso and baked cookies, and that's what we would eat for the entire night.
So cookies dipped in the queso?
No. That's for dessert. God, what is wrong with you?
I guess a lot.
Good question. It was a good question because I was thinking that too, but I'm like, wait, no, you can't be that much of a heathen.
No.
See, Maya and I are probably the wrong people to ask this question because Maya has very odd philosophies when it comes to food. She does not believe that she should be held hostage by your societal norm conventions of what constitutes a snack or a meal. She and her friends used to play a game called What Did Maya Have for Breakfast? And they always lost because it was never a breakfast food. It would be like cat pie. Or
doesn't surprise
I
anyone.
had a cheese quesadilla, or
No,
Yeah,
after
actually, you know
getting
what?
to know her, after getting to know Maya, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
You know
that
what?
pie is delicious.
Maya, I'm the same person. You don't have to worry. You don't want to know how many just random things I've grabbed from the fridge on my way out to high school.
Yeah.
Breakfasts I've done.
Y'all are
That
freaks.
seems
I mean, I eat Chinese food for breakfast sometimes too, so I'm not really, casting aspersions there. But so it's hard to say go-to snack because is that your go-to?
Whiskey? That's
There
your
you
snack?
go.
Who are you
Yeah.
to tell him what is
There
and
you
is not a
go.
snack?
That's
How
true.
dare
I
you.
am wrong.
Gotta drink
That's
right
a
before
snack.
time.
It's a
The
snack.
crackling is getting super bad. I'm gonna kill voice meter banana and I'm gonna bring up a straight up voice meter and that should take care of it. Sorry about this, guys. Thought we had this solved. I will be right back with the audio. Maybe. I also got to mess with the cameras again because wow, Discord. So let's go ahead and There we go. Can people hear us? God, I don't know.
I can hear
I can hear you.
Good. All right.
I can
Good.
hear you.
It is what it is, folks. We're gonna wrap this up here shortly. There's nothing I can do about it. If it's all right with my guests tonight, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead basically and we're gonna go around the table tonight to end this thing. We're gonna start with Firehawk. Go ahead. Any last closing wonderful words from the player of Bubbles?
Yeah, tune in tomorrow for the D&D Beyond mod game because I hear that's going to be really great. And Subs' character, he's going to be so surprised.
It's called A Walk Beyond.
Whatever.
All right, Bryway.
So, as was mentioned multiple times, still a slot, I think, in Something Wicked This Way comes. Message Charles in the Discord if you're interested. Modern D&D. It's like Dresden Files meets Supernatural without any of the canon. Maya and I are building the Forged Modern Verse. It's going to be creepy. It's going to be cool. It's going to be story. Get in while you can. And Charles, this was a blast. As you make the rotation through the interested parties, I'd be happy to come back again. Loved it.
Cool. Hey, I got my victims for tonight. So let's see here. Rain Keys.
Hi, for the last time tonight, I'm Rainy Keys, also known as Sammy. I am glad to be a part of this channel, even though I've only had one player spot so far, but I'm super psyched for when I get to show up. Super psyched to maybe possibly DM, and now really super psyched, thanks to the wonderful Devin Rue, to start a learn with me cartography kind of deal that if Charles will be willing.
We'll see. Okay, Subsist Cyber.
I am Subsist Cyber, and I was happy to be here. I'm going to be in the Walk Beyond with Firehawk. Unfortunately, it's going to be an interesting endeavor. Force at the Table is a great DM. I'm happy to be a player under him, and I look forward to the game tomorrow.
You're not under me. You're right there.
I'm under you. Didn't look good enough.
Wise girl.
I started playing Dungeons and Dragons and DMing and becoming a huge nerd because of my family. And so, role playing and tabletop have always been a part of my family atmosphere, and I'm so happy to be a part of this family. So you can catch me every other Wednesdays on the Adventures of Bubbles, playing Kali the Halfling Druid. And you can also catch me on the 20th, DMing my first Modern Verse one-shot on the stream. So tune in. And thank you, Charles, for making such an awesome family.
Thanks, Charles.
Ava tabba rava tabba tabba tibba 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 biscuit.
It just keeps getting better.
Better and better.
More syllables every time.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed tonight. It's been a blast to answer some of the questions that everybody in the chat and on Discord had asked us. A lot of great questions from Weiss Girl and Subsys. Those were definitely the best.
Mine were the best.
Yes, they were. No, super happy to be a part of this community. So excited to be a part of a bunch of the games that are going to be coming up. I am playing Rastaban the Rogue in the Bubbles campaign. I'll be joining Maya on the 20th, and then I'll be joining Something Wicked This Way Comes as well. And
nice.
Really excited for all the stuff coming up. And come join us. We'd love to have you guys.
Really looking forward to that campaign. It's going to be great.
And Firehawk.
I started.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Did you? Well, hey, we're gonna put you on the. Man, I'll tell you right now, this is another one of my 15-hour days. Woo-hoo.
That's so sweet.
I know.
Definitely Rainy, I see what you posted there in chat. That grouping, the Smiths, are people that have contributed in ways above and beyond. That is actually discussed between me and some very close people. There is a reason why the Smiths are there, because that's to fulfill a dream a couple years down the road.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
No reason to apologize. So, anyways, I am Forged at the Table, also known as Charles. If you want to play some Dungeons and Dragons, if you want to play any type of tabletop role-playing game, if you want to be a player, you want to be a DM, drop a follow on our channel, run your butt on over to our Discord, go ahead, get involved, because that's what we're here for. This has been RPG Roundtable. This is the first, I know, everybody out there, where's the dice, man? Just come on. I've never missed a giveaway. I've missed raids, but not giveaways. So anyways, please get involved. We are trying to create a community here. Anyways, so tonight's giveaway number 2. Let's go for it. Let's see what we got here. Who wins? Wow, this one's going to be super easy. Hey, Shauna, all you need to do is just drive about 8 miles, Shauna. Oh man, you just saved me shipping. Thank you, Shauna. Just drive your butt over here, girl, and I'll give you some dice.
Up herself.
Yeah, no doubt. So Shauna wins the dice. Super cool. No shipping required. Absolutely fantastic. If everybody would stick around, please. One of the things we try to do here is we try to spread the love. I have 25 viewers. There is a gentleman out there right now that has dropped, I believe, a subscription and a follow on us. He's got his own channel up right now. I did not know that until tonight. They are currently live playing Tales from the Tavern, Serpent Strip Episode 5. So we're going to jump over there. We are going to give some love onto these guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. Please stop in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. on the East Coast. Points in between are different times, if you want to do the math. And if you live beyond, well, you're on your own because metric. And then tomorrow night, it's 9 p.m. Eastern Time, The Long Road, Episode 9, Love is in the Air. So let me go ahead and throw this in there. Thank you guys for hanging out. And hey, this has been Forged at the Table. I've been Charles. These wonderful people are just like you. They're viewers, they're followers, they're subscribers. This has been RPG Roundtable. This is what we call a raid. If everybody would just go ahead, stick around, and jump in on this. Thank you. See you guys tomorrow.
Let's follow suit.
And now we're going to stand here awkwardly for about 15 seconds. So everybody wave.
Oh, the audio is getting bad.
I am really, really sorry about that suggestion. I didn't know.
No reason to apologize. All right, we got 23 people that are going to come jump in on these guys. They are not expecting it. I am pretty sure they are not expecting it. This is Nerdolopedia.
Yeah.
I have never heard of these people. Oh,
Goodbye.
Terrified Prinny. Terrified Prinny.
We're good.
All righty.
And we're rating.
Boom. It's Party of 22. Welcome to the front page, guys.